Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everybody. However you happen to be watching and or listening to this, I want to welcome you to the latest episode of the Gaming Circle podcast. Yeah, the podcast where this week there was supposed to be some news that was supposed to be released. We're going to talk about that one. And there's some other things coming up that we're excited about. So we're going to talk. I think it's going to be a handheld heavy show this week. I'm your host, Mr. K. Asante, TK Asante, on all the places we communicate, including that Discord, where if you're not joining us, you're doing it wrong because we have a lot of great conversations there. I'm actually, I have been called out for not joining the Discord enough because there are so many conversations that happen. I jump in because work, and then they're like, where you been? It's been a day. I'm like, damn. But anyway, shout out to my Discord peeps. I am, of course, joined this week and every week, thankfully, by my brother, my co-host, the man who keeps this thing running, even though y'all don't know that, Mr. Everborn Saga. Good morning, sir.
What's happening? How's everybody doing today?
And it is a good morning. I'm excited to be here. I have been up since 5 a.m. I should let you know. So my energy levels are high.
Hold on. Let me do some shilling for a second. You see this amazing Adidas shirt that I'm wearing?
I do. That is some nice stylish stuff. Yeah.
Also be Prince of Arcadia, the series.
Hold on. Let's put you on Front Street. Here you go.
There you go. I feel like there are not enough people in the audience that are looking for this hoodie, which this hoodie has been washed multiple times over multiple months, and it is still as fresh as the day that I got it. It is available on everbornsaga.com right now. And if you use code GCP, you will get 15% off of that. And I would like to see some people going to the website and picking up some of these dope hoodies. I'm just saying.
Indeed, yes. And that point on washing multiple times and it's still rocking with you, that is a very salient point, because I am a wearer of many a graphic tee, and that stuff is the devil. That'll kill you. Your favorite graphic tee goes through one round and it's no longer what it used to be. So the Adidas effect is good. It's good. Yeah. All right, man. So you here, as am I. It's the weekend before the weekend. I actually should put it right on the top. I see we have 35 folks in here. Thank you all so much for being here. If you are new here, please hit the like button. Consider being a subscriber or a member. Those who are in the chat now, who tend to be those who tend to come and frequent this show, always appreciate y'all coming in here and making our weekends brighter with your presence and your thoughts. You should know right up front, for those that don't know, next week will be a super exciting show. This is the calm before the storm, I call it, because next week we are going to have audio director for Compulsion Games, Chris Fox, joining us to talk all about Compulsion's games at that point, eminently releasing, because it just went gold. We'll talk about that in a minute. Eminently releasing South of Midnight. So not only we'll be talking about that, he'll be in the house. He'll be taking questions. We'll be asking him all sorts of things. It is going to be an awesome show, and that is next week, ladies and gentlemen. So all Xbox fans, if you are a fan of South of Midnight, you want to tune in next week. We will have Chris Fox in the house with us. It'll be absolutely awesome. But Everborn Saga, sir, what's going on in your neck of the woods? I know you got things going down.
Yeah, man. We're just getting ready for May because we have the Garden State Anime Fest that we're going to be at with Everborn. Apparently, Soil Tech says I sound a little bit loud, so tell me I can turn down the gain over here. Let me do it. I've
leveled it.
Okay. All right. Good. We're also going to be in the Garden State Comic Fest in June, and then July we may be going to Miami to Florida SuperCon, and in August we are trying to do Anime NYC, and then October is NYCC. So we're going to try to be all around with the Everborn stuff. And by the way, BT Maverick, you said let's see how this looks next year. This sweater is about 7 months old. I said it's been through the ringer many times, and it's still fresh. I'm just saying you should check it out. And I think John Wolfe has one of these. But
Oh, nice,
anyway.
nice. So on the topic of where Everborn and we GCP will be, for example, I want to throw this out to the community. So as you know, we try to frequent as many of these shows as we possibly can. So this year you will most likely see us covering the June events. That be the Summer Game Fest events. There most likely will be some stuff that Giant Bomb does. They did it last year. The great Soil Tech, who was in the house with me in at Xbox Fan Fest, I'm sure we'll catch up again this year. So you'll see us there. Last year, I took the lead and headed out to Gamescom in Germany to go do that. The question I have to ask the community, and of course Everborn Saga, because we are here on Front Street and everybody can be a part of this conversation, is it Gamescom 2025 or is it PAX Prime 2025? What do y'all think? I don't know, man.
Where's PAX Prime?
I'm just that would be Seattle, sir. That'd be in Microsoft, Xbox, Nintendo area.
What about PAX East?
Well, PAX East is a given. Like, that's easy. That's Boston. That's New York. That's you putting on the flip-flop.
I'm just saying we didn't do PAX East last year, so let's not say it's that easy.
Sir, as long as you will roll up in the Cybertruck with the Everborn Saga logo on the side, I'm sure people will oblige you.
Well, I mean, these days they might try to burn it down, but yes.
Whoa, hey now. Oh, man. What's going on, Double Barrel
Let's
Gaming?
just say I got a very suspicious flat tire the other day in the Cybertruck, but we can talk about that later. I got a flat tire and they didn't find a nail.
Hold on. I need to double click on that one real quick because we have some stories, we have some news, but I'm sorry, I feel like that one requires a double click. Let's go real quick. Okay, now I am not a Cybertruck driver. Let's just put that out there. But I am a driver of Teslas. Okay, let's be real. But for those who know, for those in this community,
and Lady Asante,
me and Lady, we're gonna put all the cards on the table. Me and Lady Asante are Tesla drivers, right? But for those who know, for those who the Venn diagram for you is video games and comics, I will tell you that we bought Cybertruck. We bought into Tesla when we thought he was Tony Stark. Come to find out, he's Justin Hammer. If you know, you know, right? So at this point, we are bought in. But I will say, the hardware is decent and has not done me wrong yet. So there's that, right? And I'm sure, Mr. Everborn Saga, all full disclosure, you yourself are also pretty much Tesla out as a vehicle, as a driver, Mrs. Everborn as well. Am I wrong?
Oh, we started in 2019, and we've never looked back, and we are on between the two of us our fourth Tesla. There you go.
So
I just we're not talking. We don't do politics on this show. No. Let's just say, in Casa del Everborn, we separate the art from the artist, and it's a fun car. But that's not what we're talking about. What we are talking about is, I got a flat tire in the
my point to bring this up is. My point to bring this up is, although I have not driven in a Cybertruck daily, I've test driven one, and one thing I know about them is, it takes a 50 cal to puncture the HUD. You need a very, very big rock to break the window, as tested on stage, and them tires are not getting flat with a simple nail.
They're not.
They are like,
but here's the thing:
heavy duty. Take you to like freaking the outskirts of the wilderness for survival tires. What's going on?
There was no nail. There was no nail in the tire.
So in other words, what you're saying to me, sir, is I should be sending you a decal that says blank, blank, blank. Please don't hate on me. That you will be sticking on your because
Yeah.
I have a feeling you got some targets on your back there, sir. Driving in your metal coffin.
You know.
Anyway,
But yeah,
damn.
this is, you know, things are
Okay.
wild right now. But
Yes,
let's
it is.
talk.
Yes,
We
it
came
is.
here to talk about games. Let's talk.
Yes,
about
we did. Yes, we did. Yes, we did. Which, by the way, a quick divert. Semi-related. Wifey had an issue with her Model Y. She was dealing with certain things. She had to have it serviced and whatnot. And then they let her borrow, I think, a Plaid Model S. The thing has got a 3080 in it, and you can like go to Steam and controller support, and you're like literally like your library native in the car. Pretty effing cool. I'm sorry. I had to bring, even my car doesn't do that one. It doesn't have a graphics card in the damn car. It was amazing. Anyway, but they don't offer that anymore, do they? Am I wrong, Evermore?
What are we talking about?
Like being able to get the car with like a graphics card in it and like Steam.
No. You can't do that anymore. They were doing it, but no longer.
But they cut it out. Yeah, that's right. This one that the wifey had, the loaner had that equipped. You could literally play like full native Cyberpunk, all of that native from the car. Freaking amazing. Anyway, so I know that's not why you're here. You're not here to hear us talk about cars by people who maybe should not be discussed on gaming podcasts. Yeah, we want to talk about poison in another way, which is in games. Which that's what we're here to talk about this
also
week.
Shout out to the one and only Infinite Umbra.
There he is. What's going on, bro? What's going on, bro? It's good to see you, man. So we will get to the games we're playing, but I gotta say, I have a few games I want to discuss, and I'm sure Mr. Everborn Saga, you'll have games you'll want to discuss as well. I told you I have been up since 5 a.m. Our show starts at 10 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time now, and I will tell you that from 5 to maybe about 20 minutes ago, the most of my time was spent playing Avowed. Because damn,
you got to bet.
damn.
That's why.
No, look. Here's the problem. Okay, here's the problem. And here's the problem. Here's my problem with Avowed. As I keep telling the crowd and the people, right? Join the Discord. Join the community. We chat. We have a great time. We're always in there, whether you're working or whatever. You're on your phone, whatever. You're in the Discord, right? It's great. We have a great time. The problem is, Avowed is not a Discordable game, and I spend a lot of time behind them keys. Sometimes in the home office, I got the laptop out. Maybe I got the game on the screen. Got the controller on deck, ready to go. I can't do that while listening to Mr. Wolf in my other ear talking his madness. You know what I'm saying? I can't do that while Lucius. This is not that.
Can I say something
there
about
are many
Avowed?
games? One sec. There are many games that you could just like have a great time while hanging with the boys and doing all that. This game cannot do, and it requires your full, dedicated, at least 2, 3, 4 hours of attention in order to make it matter in the game. And that's why from 5 to like almost like 8:30, 9 o'clock, I was in there and I had a great, it is so good, but that is so few and far between that I can do that, because even on a handheld, it doesn't, like, you can't play it in short spurts. Evermore, you were gonna say.
You also can't play this game at night, I find. And it just, I don't know. I try. Well, here's the thing. We'll talk about what I've been playing. Spoiler alert, it's a lot of Blasphemous, but which I finished this week, including the Mea Culpa DLC. But
you went in. All right.
Yeah. I think I have like 79 hours in part 2, 45 in the first one. Those 79 hours are a little bit padded because I was in the Discord talking and then putting it down while I
great Discordable games.
I'd probably bring that 79 down to around 70 just of actual
we just
time.
Want to be farming and just having a good time and stuff. Discord, man, it's a beautiful thing. Avowed, not a very Discordable. Well, okay, unless you're not playing any of the story content. If you're just in the wilderness, just getting beat up, yes, you can.
Roshan Eppinger says, "Is it putting me to sleep at night?" I'm gonna be 100% honest, and I really like this game. I love the combat. I love the exploration. That monotone voice that you hear in your head,
Okay?
it
But that's
is
proof of the
really
thing, though.
is it
So
really bothers.
how far in the game are you?
19 hours. I've basically done all the exploring there is to do. I've done every side quest in Dawn Shore, and I just the last time I turned it off, left Dawn Shore through the bridge to go look for the Aramancers or whatever they're called.
Okay. So you're heading to the next.
Yeah, and I just met the other potential companion with the rabbit ears.
Okay, so the reason why I ask is because no spoilers, but as the game progresses, there's the stakes rise, and that docile monotoneness is no longer so docile. Excuse me, is no longer so docile and monotone, right? Even when she's speaking to you, when they're speaking to you,
Listen, this is a me problem. But like I'm playing this game at like 1 a.m, and I don't need the visual of someone sleeping on a rock with a very dulcet toned person talking.
You gotta push through is all I'm saying. You gotta push through because
I don't want to feel like I have to push
the
through.
The tones don't stay dulcet. They eventually, as the world ratchets the tension up, so becomes your conversations in that dream state. It becomes like heavy stakes. It's not so monotone that you must listen to her speak. No, it becomes more of a thing as the world becomes a thing. Like I don't want to spoil it. Just play.
No, and I totally get it. Right?
Everyone will choose to quit before it becomes less than a monotone thing.
Well, that's their fault, not mine. Like Assassin's Creed Shadows just came out, right? And I bought that. Monster Hunter came out. Bought that, didn't get a chance to touch it. Now this is my fault because every time a AAA game comes out, I buy it, excited to play it, and then some random 2D platformer comes across my radar, and I'm like, squirrel, and then I go play that for 50 hours. But still,
he buys the $70 games full price, and then goes and plays Soldiers for 50 cents for like 80 hours, and then that full price game, by the time he's done with the Soldiers that cost him 50 cents. That full price game becomes $25, and he goes, "Oh well." It's over and over and over.
It's a vicious cycle. It's a vicious cycle. But my point is, if Assassin's Creed Shadows is out, do I have time for another game to ramp up? And that's the issue of so many games.
No, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. If you don't like it already, and these other games are calling your name, hey man, I'm a grazer. It is what it is. Like, move on. I have to say, and
I will be right back.
Okay,
no worries. I hear a beeping that I need to check on.
No worries. Go ahead. Yeah, I'll be right here. So cards on the table. The reason why there is two reasons why I am so much into Avowed right now. Initially, I was on the fence. I was kind of like, I like it, but because of the fact that it's very difficult, to play it while still hanging out in the Discord, it makes it a difficult game to just play. Because if you're playing it and you're hanging out in the Discord, you can't really make any progress. All you really can do is just kind of, walk around and get into fights. That doesn't help, right? You want to be able to make progress in the game. So it's not a game that's really Discord friendly, right? And as such, I tended to kind of be like, I'll play it here and there. And most of my games are played on the handheld. And of course, my time on a handheld, this game just doesn't lend itself to it. Needless to say, enter Mr. Wolf. Myself and John Wolf have a little bit of a wager. He saw my feelings.
I think it was outside.
Situation. Oh, it was outside. Okay, cool. You good. He saw my feelings on the situation, and he bet me. He was like, look, man, I know you don't like the game. You're a grazer. Why don't you just drop it and let me know that you don't like it so we can move on? I said, no, I actually really like this game. There are reasons that preclude me from getting so invested because of the stuff I've described. It doesn't lend itself to it. The subject matter and the story delivery is very deep and pulpy and all that. It requires your full attention, so you can't really be hanging out with buddies while playing it, right? So, TLDR, he and I have a bet, right? And I've watched this, everyone. I don't know if you saw me do this. I've kind of merged two of my favorite things together here. This is gonna hopefully work. So he is convinced that I will not finish this game. And let's be honest, I am like, so I'm on the cusp because man, oh man, Shadows is calling my name, but I'm not gonna relent because if I'm able to beat this game before I pick up of my own accord, pick up another game, Mr. John Wolf has agreed that he will host Discord exclusive for all my people who are not in the Discord. This is your opportunity to join the Discord. He will host a season 2 Halo TV show watch along for the Discord members, where we are allowed to all congregate, talk through, discuss and or shame Master Cheeks as he deserves to be shamed. But it's only season 2. Why? Because we know
no
season
Cheeks
1
in
is a
season
bloodbath.
2.
Hey, most people don't know that. And that's what this is about. So I want more people to watch season 2. So this is the bet we have made. If I lose this bet, I must come on Front Street and bring myself to the congregation and admit my defeat and how Mr. Wolf was right, which never happens.
Sycamore in the chat says, get your keys ready. He will drop 3 codes for Blasphemous randomly in here. Let's go.
Salute to the great Sycamore. Oh, thank you, brother. This is great.
And by the way, Paris, don't think I didn't see that slick stuff you said while I was gone.
I just let that one sit there, bro.
I didn't miss it.
Great, Paris. All right. So I say all that to say, I'm actually now, because of the bet and all of that, it got me over the hump of wanting to, because I would.
Does it count if you only beaten the game out of spite so that John won't be right? I don't know.
To be honest with you, to be seriously honest with you, like absolutely, I'm keeping it a buck, okay? Because he and I had that back and forth, right? That kept me going on just a little longer until that dulcet tone went from being monotone to being a bit more, right? And now I'm like, oh hell yeah! I woke up at 5 this morning. What's the first thing I did? I played Avowed. I've been playing Avowed all day. As soon as I'm done with this show, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to play Avowed. I want to see where the story goes. It's actually ramping up and getting good. And my powers are also finally starting to get somewhere. I'm a scout, so I got good, like I love range stuff. So I got good range ability, and I use wizard stuff, so I got like double range ability, and I'm like causing actual thunderous like powers now because I'm a little late in the game now, so my powers are actually developing. So it's getting fun, and I want to see where it goes. And of course, I also want to see Mr. Wolf get the do the season 2. So not to be outdone by Sycamore.
Umbra saying, speaking of giveaways, he'll be giving away AC Shadows Deluxe Edition next week.
That is awesome. You guys are doing it. And of course, Mr. Wolf says he'll take his code for the PS4, PS5.
Absolutely not. No. Give him a PS4 code. All right.
That's right. Anyway,
are we doing what we're playing?
Yes, you're doing what we're playing. And ladies and gentlemen, Everborn Saga. What are you playing, sir? What you got? Let's go.
All right. So you know how I do things, right? I'll pick a game, I'll no life it, and then try to find another one that sits with me. So I'm in the phase of trying like 3 or 4 games that I've bought in the last couple of weeks and seeing which one I'm going to play. But I'm also taking into consideration, I want to that's true with BT Maverick.
Is that wrong?
I realized there was no weather in that. But what I'm trying to take into account is that I want to be ready for South of Midnight by the time it comes out, because I'm very much looking forward to that game. So I don't want something that's too long. So I've tried a few games, so we can talk about those. But Blasphemous.
Ooh. Before you get to that though, there's one other, because you bring it up. There's one other thing that I want the community
code
to be
for Blasphemous in the chat. Highly recommend.
Oh, there you go. Code. Grab it, and when you grab it and you're able to redeem
shout
that.
out Sick in the chat once you
doing the Lord's work. Thank you, Sick. Appreciate you, brother. Thank you, Sycamore. That's awesome. One last thing before we let you go off on your blasphemous journey, ladies and gentlemen. We all know that the Juggernaut is on his way, sooner rather than later. Actually, probably later rather than sooner. The Juggernaut will be here, and no one will have anything else to talk about or breathe or sleep or eat, but then talk about the Juggernaut that is Grand Theft Auto 6. Now, we know for sure Everborn Saga will not be playing Grand Theft Auto 6. We know this. You know this. I know this. But for the purpose of education, for science, damn it, for the developer that stands in front of us, I have made it my mission to make sure Mr. Everborn Saga at least tries the campaign. He has not even played Grand Theft Auto 5's campaign. I feel like that is a travesty, because for the man that I know that is Everborn Saga, I genuinely think, slander aside, that he would enjoy that campaign. So what did I do for the spring sale? The spring sale that just came with Steam. I gifted him that code. Have you accepted it yet? Probably not.
I have not accepted it yet, because you think you slick.
Yeah.
You think you slick. You gifted it to me so I wouldn't have an excuse not to play it. But guess what? I don't need an excuse.
The barrier of entry is super low at this point, sir. See, very low. And look, genuinely, I just want you to experience that campaign, the world of them walking around, the world living and breathing as you just happen to be there. You don't even have to experience the story and it develop or whatever. I just want you to be and see where a lot of the things we take for granted actually came from, because a lot of it comes from there, right? I feel like for educational purposes, for this show alone, it would be very cool for you to play that and have a discussion about it. That's all I'm saying.
Well, firstly, I see that Pixelbit G, the man with the new basement, has entered the chat.
What's going on,
doing, sir, on this fine Saturday morning? But listen, the only way we will have the, because I genuinely don't care. I'm not moved by GTA. I don't care. I don't see the hype around it. The last one I played was GTA 4. But for you, we can have this conversation after we have a release date.
Okay.
For the PC.
For 6. For GTA 6?
For GTA 6 on PC. Not the console version. I need a date for PC, and then we will talk about me playing 5 on Steam.
Because Everborn Saga has said this, ladies and gentlemen, clip this one. And I'm using my best.
I didn't say we would do it. I said we can have the discussion. That's all I said.
Because
Mr.
Everborn Saga has said this, and we will clip this. We'll put a digital receipt pin in here right now. I venture to guess that when it is announced, GTA 6 will be announced for all platforms.
You think it's PC day?
I'm not saying it's PC day and date. I'm saying we will know when it come on PC. You say when they announce the date, then we can talk about it. They will tell you when the day they announce GTA in general, they'll announce the PC date.
Let me, because there's been a lot of back and forth about this.
Mm-hmm.
Has there been an official announcement that it is only console to start?
No, but historically it always has been.
Yeah, but historically the last game came out
5
over
years
ago.
Exactly. You see, this is
not 5 years. It was like 12 years ago.
12 years, 13 years. Exactly. So this is why everybody talking using historical reference points makes me go, I hear you, but they've literally sat there and watched as the gaming world has evolved and changed, and all these moving and shaking things are happening, and black hole games and this and that and the third and all of that, right? And this is actually even me as a benefit to GTA. I think that GTA 5, as much of a benchmark as I think that game is, I think Red Dead was even bigger of a benchmark. But because it's such a niche cowboys and Indians kind of premise and title, not everybody got into that. And all the learnings and the deep systems and the better storytelling that they did there will make 6 even more impressive, right? So I honestly think that, like you, even though historical information is all we can go on, I don't think I want to lean on that as strongly. They see money.
The Black John says the trailer is just PS5 in series. So I guess that's basically an
Okay.
official
Yeah, so
announcement.
far. Yeah. So
All right.
let's wait till they show us the full court. Well, they show us the full court press and see if that's solidified. We shall see. But yeah. So I say all that to say he now has GTA 5 in his library, whether he chooses to
It's
accept
not
it or
in my
not.
library yet. I didn't accept it yet,
The
sir.
money,
But
the money has been spent. The code has been delivered. Whether he accepts it or not, it's at his doorstep. Literally, the box is in front of his door. He just needs to bring it in and unbox it. He has
all
chosen
right,
to leave it at his
I
doorstep.
think Michael Santiago got the first blasphemous code. Shout out to Michael and
Fantastic.
Sick.
Shout out to y'all too. Thank you once again, Sick. That is really cool. But yes, speak more on your journey with Blast.
Yes, but one of the best Metroidvanias out there. If we're talking, and I played, this is what I did with Ori also, right? I played 1 and 2 back to back. And doing that again now with Blasphemous is a similar feeling. Like, and you've never played a Metroidvania like Blasphemous because it is very sort of like you got a finger up.
Mr. Wolf is bringing. I did not, and I will not make that bet, sir, because I'm not saying that day and date is assured. I will not do that, sir. I see what you're doing, and that is bait, sir. I am not going to take that, sir. Thank you. Have a good day. I'm sorry.
Right.
Continue.
So the thing about Blasphemous that's different from a lot of these other games, and they really do a good, because here's the thing, these days you can't throw a rock without hitting a Metroidvania, right?
Oh yeah,
it is just, if you're gonna make a 2D platformer, that's how they do it. You ever wonder why you don't see many sort of Mario Sonic style games where you have like a mascot, they jump on ahead, it's just like a level, you get to the end of it? Why don't we see those much anymore?
It's because Mario's image looms so damn large that no matter what you do, you're not going to be part of the genre. You're just going to be compared to the damn mascot, right? The other genres have room to breathe. The platformer, that bump on heads genre is not even just, it's like Pampers, right? Like everything is Pampers because that's just what it is.
Oh, speaking of that, this is just completely random.
Yeah.
But my daughter, when I got the ROG Ally X, I gave her my OG ROG Ally. Do you know that she calls that thing a Steam Deck? I think the fight is already over at that point. You know, when your mom, doesn't matter what it is, she'll see the Sega, she'll see the whatever, it's a Nintendo.
Yeah, turn off the Nintendo. That's right.
If we are at that stage in these handhelds,
well, I mean,
should they just wrap it up?
In your household, the word Steam Deck is kind of thrown around. I mean, your daughter knowing what a Steam Deck is just common parlance, but is that the same across the board?
But in my household, where we have all these devices, calling a ROG Ally a Steam Deck, it like,
Sir,
if once you become an adjective, right?
Let us recognize we are talking the household of one of the supreme, the converted, because he wasn't always this way, converted Gabe Glizzy lovers. You know what I'm saying? So the idea of a Steam Deck, I mean, easy.
I'm just saying, I've never called the Ally. Okay. Anyway, but I just found it interesting, and even when we look at those stats that came out, as small as the numbers were, you know what I'm doing? I haven't done Hollow Knight yet. I think I'm gonna wait. No, I know I need to play it. I know I need to play it, but I'm
by the way, this week, which we won't talk about it because it's not a big thing, but Microsoft officially acknowledged Silksong, which is the next one, right? We've been waiting forever.
They've been acknowledging that forever.
But they actually use their mouth to say the word Silksong this week, so that means it exists somewhere. Who knows? But yes, that's another one that you should play because it is.
Wait a minute. Michael Santiago says he's paying it forward. Soldiers on PC.
Oh, this man, look at this man. Look at you.
Soldiers is one of the greatest Metroidvanias ever made. I said it with my chest.
His whole chest.
You listen.
To Michael Santiago.
Grab that now if you don't have it. You
Yeah, it's
cannot
a
go
great
wrong
game.
with soldiers. Okay, so
If you if
um,
you have if you are like Mr. Everborn Saga's daughter and you got that hand me down like busted ally that has like
but
two
why gotta be
minutes
a
of battery
busted
life
ally? It's very clean. It
that
don't
has
even have.
that
Yeah,
has
okay.
2 minutes of battery life. You want this code because this is the only game that you can put the TDP down to like dust and it still plays for like 8 hours. Like this is the game for you who has the busted ally with the terrible battery life. I'm just saying. Am I wrong, Mr.
Just get by the way, get ready. The second copy of Blasphemous is going out now. This is crazy. I don't know what's going on with the chat today. It's like
today is a beautiful thing.
like
This is
Christmas.
wonderful. This is great. This is great.
All right.
Thank you so much.
So Blasphemous 1,
Hey,
it is really
shout out to
like
the Xbox expansion pass real quick. We not only have Luke Law in here, we also have Captain Logan in here. What's going on, gentlemen? Good to see you all here. This is awesome. Thank you guys so much for pulling up in our chat of all places. This is great. Thank you guys. So yes, you were talking about Blasphemous.
Yeah.
How many hours, by the way?
So part 1 was, and I did this in succession. So part 1, I put in around 45 hours. New code for Blasphemous. Grab it now. Shout out to Sycamore. Make sure you give Syc the shout out if once you're able to redeem. But it is like a work of art, right? It is in this sort of Victorian era Gothic horror. It is this. It's like the way they depict it is like perverted, not perverted in like a sicko kind of way, but like a sort of twisted, sort of almost demonic representation of Catholicism almost, right? Like if you go to the Vatican and you see all of that Victorian era art, switch that to horror, and that's kind of what it is. And they're depicting a world of people who believe that their suffering brings them closer to God, and it's these false gods who are pretending to be the God. It's a whole thing. I don't want to ruin that for you, but if you look at it, and it's all pixel art. That's the first one, right? You got it on screen now, right? You can see the iconography, right? You can see all these things. And the combat is tough as nails. You have super interesting bosses. Are
you about to call this the Souls-like of 2D platformers?
I won't say it because then Lucius is gonna be after me. But it is you have to master parrying, you have to master dodging. You know, when you die, you kind of build up guilt, which takes away from the magic that you can use, which they call prayers and things like that.
He said his name when he showed up.
He's always watching. He's always watching. So I'm not gonna say it.
He's always watching. Always watching.
And so I just feel like as a work of art, I think part 1 stands above, but I think part 2, they really, you know, as a game, they really took it to the next level. I have my issues with part 2 because in part 1 you had one weapon that kind of had all these powers, but in part 2 they split that across 3 weapons. So you have like balanced, heavy, and light.
So let me take a quick divergence because you bring something up that reminds me that I wanted to talk to you. Remember, you wanted like the final boss.
Who's playing this right now? Because what are they doing?
Not me. This is just
terrible.
Hey, stop. As long as you don't have footage that we can show of your gameplay, sir, I suggest you keep that to a minimum, sir. I'm just saying. So I was saying, remember you had that plan to beat the boss in a specific kind of way. You were gonna combine certain components and make yourself put yourself in a state that you could have a bit of an edge over the final boss. How did that work out for you, by the way?
So here's the thing about part 2. What I say, they added so much more game systems and so much more game elements and new systems to it on how you could build out your character. The thing I didn't like, you see that move that he's doing now where he like dodges and turns that into an attack?
Yeah.
What they do in part 2 is they switch that across 3 weapons. So if you want to do that attack, you have to switch to the light weapon.
Oh yeah,
And
yeah.
and the weapons now are used for traversal as well, because the heavy weapon can ring a bell that will create elements for you to step on. The balanced weapon allows you to do a slam attack, which will break walls and floors in certain places, and the light weapon allows you to dash through certain walls. And you have to switch mid-air sometimes or in mid-combat to do that stuff. And I just think it adds a lot of undue burden, whereas in the first one you had all those moves with one weapon, so you still had to have the dexterity, but you didn't have to also think about switching which weapon. And switching back and forth between 3 weapons is very cumbersome, as opposed to even if you switched back to back and forth between one and the other.
Did you play Doom, by the way, like Doom to Doom Eternal? Did you play those two?
I played Doom Eternal, not Doom 2016.
Not the original. Oh, so you would know. They also did a lot of updating of the systems from Doom to Doom Eternal, and some people felt similarly to what you're describing, like their first iteration of the systems was good enough, and they didn't need to do the rock paper scissors color coded thing they did with Eternal. I wanted to get your perception as to what did what. But okay.
Well, here's also the interesting thing though. In the DLC, which is the Mea Culpa DLC, it is about you getting back this sword that has all the powers in one. So that is the thing that I also played. So
presumably 3 maybe will bring you back to your normal playstyle because you now have the sword.
Right. Okay. So and again, it's just that you have to use these things for traversal purposes. Yeah. And if you want to use certain attacks in the middle of a very chaotic boss fights, and the boss fights are chaotic. Now, you may watch some videos when part 2 first came out in 2023, and they say the bosses are easy. They've since done balancing updates to give the bosses a lot, not more life, but your attacks against them do less damage. And so the boss fights are very challenging, notwithstanding the last one. But anyway, to answer your question, there was the final boss fight, which is the first penitent one. When you fight him, he does this thing where he teleports, and he can teleport behind you or close to you, so it's very hard to block his attacks. So you can try to brute force him, or you're gonna need to use the systems that the game offers. So if you play through the game, you can get different so there's these things called altar pieces that you can attach, and you can get up to 8, but you have to unlock all 8 of those slots. And when you oh boy, look at this, look at this.
I will read that.
Okay,
great. BT Maverick 707 says, click at your own risk with a game code, and he says not Silk Song, maybe hentai.
Oh man.
Thank you, BT Maverick.
Also Soil Tech was able to activate 6-second blasphemous code. Man. So shout out to 6, shout out to Soil Tech, and BT Maverick. Awesome. Shout out to you too, but I don't know what's in that code.
he said that's a John Wolf.
You might be right. But so the things that they added in part 2, which are, and also you see all these descriptions, if you read them, they're super cryptic and they don't really explain and weird. Yeah. So this is one of those things. I am not comparing it to Elden Ring, but it is one of those community kind of games where nothing is explained, and you kind of have to rely on the YouTube community to. I said one of those kind of games. That's all I said. You have to rely on the community to tell you where things are and what they do, because the game is too cryptic almost many times to understand what they're telling you, right? And
like Elden Ring.
No, I won't say it.
I did, so you didn't have to. Continue. Go ahead.
Okay. All right. So The Koofy cat is in the
I know
chat.
he is. I know he is. He gonna come for you.
I don't want no smoke. But what I really enjoy gameplay wise, right? I think art wise, the first one's better, but gameplay wise, apart from my annoyance about switching out the weapons, is they have these altar pieces that you can unlock up to 8 altar pieces, but they go in pairs. And so if you each altar piece will have a buff effect, meaning, all right, when your health is low, you'll do 20% more damage, or you will you'll be more susceptible to or less susceptible to lightning damage, or will reduce the cooldown on your dodge by 25%, that kind of thing, right? Or a specific weapon will be more powerful.
Blasphemous 2, how long did it take you to beat that game, by the way?
I clocked in at Blasphemous 2 plus the DLC is 79 hours, but that you have to take off around 10, maybe a little bit more hours from that, because a lot of it was in the pause menu while I'm talking on Discord. So
I asked that question.
I would say somewhere between 65 and 70 hours is what it really was, even though I have it at.
Okay. I asked that question because shout out to the gentleman whose YouTube channel we're using here, Gamers Little Playground. I asked that you follow them because they do great work. I've been watching their video. They have the full playthrough of Blasphemous 2. No comment. The full game, 5 hours and 5 minutes.
Yeah, if you want to go through it like that and not get anything, I got everything in the game.
No, I understand that, but I'm just like I can't fathom the idea that a game can be. I'm not saying that you took too long. It's the fact that there's just so much content in it that you can either play it for 5 hours or play it for 70 whatever hours. That's a lot, man. Like, damn.
So, but the altar piece system, which has the different buffs, right, and debuffs. Now, because they come in there, the slots are in pairs, right? You can put different altar pieces together, and then it'll give you another passive effect or ability. So, for example, if I put
stacking abilities,
if I put the dodge, the altar piece that reduces your dodge cooldown by 20% next to the lightning damage debuff, every time you do a dodge, you'll get a lightning strike that will hit anything in its path. Right? So it's that kind of thing, right? There's another one where if you there's other ones that will like increase your power more, but they have other ones that'll switch your attack to a like poison damage, right? So it's that sort of yeah. This is you're playing part 2. I never actually figured out what this guy wants. He gives you a jar and says if it breaks, you bring it back to him, but I don't know how to break that jar.
Okay. So I ask you real quick. I ask you about that system because I kind of think I found a similar, not the same, but a similar kind of system in Avowed. Quick, where I have the sneak ability, right? You have and this is obviously it's not like a hack or something, but it's how they've built the systems. It gets interesting in that way. I'm going to try and see if I can find more systems that are that interoperate that way as well, where you have the sneak ability, and the sneak ability uses your essence, right, to fuel it, right? So you can like eat a lot of a certain kind of fruit, like load up on a ridiculous amount of this certain kind of fruit, and you see the number dial at the bottom of your screen, and both health and essence. So over time, as your health diminishes, it'll use that instead of digging into your crates or having you to drink your flask, right? So if you have a lot of essence built up, you can basically turn on the sneak ability or any other ability that uses essence as its main driver, and basically have it on and running like infinitely throughout the whole game.
Right. And so now, speaking of that, that's what your question was that I was trying to attempt. So when I was fighting this very cheesy last boss, there is one of those abilities that you get. By the way, they don't tell you what you'll get. You just have to play around with it and see what passive effects you'll get.
If you're lucky.
So there's 2 altar pieces that you can put together that will, it's called a resonance. And the resonance is when you have a certain weapon equipped, it will not consume your fervor, which is that blue bar, which is your magic bar, right? Shout out to BT Mavericks. It looks like Slow-Mo got Hollow Knight.
Bro, what a Travis Shamocracy. As ridiculous as Everborn Saga not playing GTA 5, Slow-Mo Backslap has never played Hollow Knight.
It was actually never released in Canada, so he wasn't able to.
I hope you stream that one, bro, because that game is amazing and you will love it. You will.
Yeah, what I'm doing is I'm waiting for Silk Song, and then I'm gonna play them at the same time, like I did with Ori and Blasphemous.
So 1 and 2, go ahead.
Yeah.
Shout out to
it's been working out great for me. So, so that one, the way it's supposed to work, the way it explains that it works is that it reduces your fervor consumption, which is that blue bar on the screen, to 0 with a certain weapon equipped when it is activated. Now that's important. So, then there's another magic power that you can get. There's another magic power that you can get that stops time for a few seconds, but it takes up half of you.
Jesus Christ.
Absolutely fine. I'm not as good as the Canadian League. I am sorry.
But man.
I got to be careful because you know what? Let me not say that.
Don't you dare disrespect our Canadian brethren. What's wrong with you, sir?
Yeah.
Don't you dare.
But anyway,
they have been disrespected enough. Hey, let's just keep it moving.
Highlight his latest comment. I just would like to point out that he finally acknowledges it. So now, what's it called? So there's another magic power you can get that stops time for a few seconds, right? So I thought this boss that I couldn't beat, I maybe fought him 25 times, couldn't beat him. I said, all right, I'm gonna go throughout the world and the Ascent Cyber Edition. Let's go.
Dr. Dry,
I don't know what's happening in the
great
chat
name
today.
Today's the day of codes. Oh, so if this is what we're gonna do, I guess I might as well start dropping some codes in there too. I didn't know today was gonna be like code cleanup. All right, well, I'm gonna throw some codes in the chat as well. Give me a few minutes. Damn.
Right.
Thank you, Dr. Dryrup.
So
when you activate that, shout out to Dr. Dryrup. When you activate that, let him know. Love you guys. You guys are doing great work. Please, I'm sorry.
Wait, hold on. Dr. Dryrup, Arkham Collection, 3 games. Let's go.
This is crazy right now. What's going on? This is awesome. Awesome. Thank you guys so much. This is so cool. All right, yes.
So I thought that I could get the resonance by finding the 2 altar pieces, because first you gotta go on quests and things to go and unlock the altar pieces, and then you got to put them together, then you get the resonance, and then you can use it later. So that process is what added all the hours to the playtime, because I went on a hunt to go get all the altar pieces.
You were trying to go cheese
so that I can mix and match them around. So then I go and unlock the magic power that stops time, which also took me several hours. And so I said, maybe I could stop time indefinitely, and you can't. Because when they said the fervor consumption goes to 0, it is only because when that weapon is activated, it actively burns your fervor meter. But you do more damage.
There's no way of reconstituting it.
Right. So when you attack, it's going to use magic. So when they said it goes to 0, it's only so when it's activated, it doesn't consume fervor. But when you actually attack, it does use the fervor. But wait a minute. Hold on. Another one from Dr. Dryrup.
Dropping a bunch of codes in the chat, bro. He got like 3 blood.
He dropped 2 codes for that. Yeah.
Yeah. It's just wild, bro. 3 actually. Ritual of the Night.
This is like
There's
a
one
episode
right
of
there.
Oprah.
Oh yeah, you get a code of Ritual of the Night. You get a code of Ritual of the Night, and then you get a code of Ritual of the Night. Oh man, and he said there's a final code coming in as well. Shout out to Dr. Dry Rub. This is the first time I get to say that on a Saturday morning, and I mean that earnestly. Thank you so much. This is awesome.
Belatro's coming up.
He about to put out the legendary. Oh, look at Belatro. Fantastic. If you have not played that game.
What has Sycamore started?
Right? This is amazing. this is amazing. Thank y'all so much. This is awesome. Saturday morning. Get your game codes right. Get some codes. Mm-hmm.
So the thing is that didn't work, but I found another resonance that when you attack, it increases your fervor buildup. So the idea is you stop time and then do a spin attack with that weapon that you just saw the guy, the character, not this one, the one he had a few seconds ago. And that will build your fervor up almost every time you use it to enough so that you could keep doing the time freeze. So I tried one thing which was a cheese and it didn't work, but I used another part of the system to get this almost the same effect. So this is what I'm saying. What they do with the systems in
this is not bad. This is not bad. The in-game cheesing is allowed, right? The out-of-game cheesing, that's a little too far. By the way, final blasphemous code from the great Sycamore. Thank you, Sycamore. Appreciate you, man. Final code. Thank you guys so much.
Before we move on, I just want to talk about these other games that I've been trying since I completed Blasphemous and the DLC bosses. I got back to Mea Culpa. That's the weapon from the first one that gives you extra powers. So I did everything I'm going to do in Blasphemous 2, unless another DLC comes out. So, and I want to get this right. So I tried a few games just as palate cleansers, but they weren't really palate cleansers. I found out because all the other games I tried were 2D platformers, and I don't think that's what I need right now after doing 120 hours of
you need a palate cleanser, right? Why not AC Shadows? That'll cleanse your palate for like 3
hours. But I don't want to get caught on that because I'd be playing that too long for when. All right, so what do we got here? We have Wonder Boy Asha in Monster World. That I got
Wonder Boy Asha in Monster World.
Yeah, okay. Don't even worry about it. It's not good.
Okay.
Like it's very like it's a remake of a game. It's an old Sega game that they reskinned. It looks beautiful. It's super Japanese to the point where the affirmative button is like it is on Nintendo. That's the B button.
Oh,
that's how Japanese it is. Yeah.
If you're not used to it, it can be a little annoying. Yep.
So it's fine,
and by the way,
it's really a game that you would give your kids. It's not.
Real quick, shout out to the great Infinite Umbra. He puts a really, really good recommendation out into the chat. Mayhem Brawler, great game. Mayhem Brawler reminds you of games like, I'll give you one guess, Mr. Everborn Saga. What does it look like? You know it.
I'm getting Streets of Rage vibes here.
There you go. Absolutely. Mayhem Brawler. Oh, great. I've been playing this game for $4. I mean,
no. You say no more. This is getting perfect.
It's excellent. And by the way, it's also like very comic book aesthetic. So you can kind of choose which comic book you want to use. Depending on which comic book you choose, the story changes. It's very well done. Mayhem Brawler 2 is out, I think. Came out not too long ago. So if you haven't checked it
90% all-time rating, so that's pretty good.
Yeah, it's great. It is
80% off, usually $20, only $4.
Yeah.
Say less.
Yep. Oh, okay. So Mayhem Brawler 2 is not out yet, but yes, part 1, awesome. Part 1 is great. Thank you.
What are we looking at right now? Are we looking at part 1 or part 2?
Part 1. This part 1. Yeah. Part 2 is not out yet. The demo for part 2 was out. I played that. That's why I thought part 2 was out already. It's not out yet. Part 2, the demo is out. But part one,
Say no more. That is
there you
purchased
go.
and it is now being downloaded. All right. Anyways,
Yep.
so
Yep.
Wonder Boy, it's a great game to give to your kids, but I don't and again, this is why I need a palate cleanser. It's difficult to come from a game as dark as Blasphemous and then go to something like a Wonder Boy Asher in Monster World. So the other one,
Continue.
the other one is Ice Palace 2. Now this is a very old school game. Also, it's a new game, but it's old school in style. It is, I believe, a Metroidvania. I only played it for about a half hour. The only thing is, I think they went a little too far in the pixel art phase. Like it feels like 8-bit, not 16-bit. Even though you can see the animations, it is not what you would have gotten on a Nintendo. But aesthetically, it gives an 8-bit vibe. I just think it's a little bit the art and the pixels are just a little bit too blurry for me, and there's too much on the screen. I don't know if I'm a fan of the art direction, but again, that is probably from me coming from something as detailed as Blasphemous. But gameplay wise and mechanics wise, it's very interesting. It is very old school. Maybe it's not 8-bit, it's early 16-bit though, right?
Okay.
We're talking about like 90, what you would have got in 1991 versus what you
hit me
would have
with the title of that game again. Let me put
Beyond the
visual on
Ice
this.
Palace 2.
Beyond the Ice Palace. Oh, I see Beyond the Ice
definitely
Palace,
has-
Beyond the Ice World.
No, it's Beyond the Ice Palace 2.
It's two.
It's very, the story is very like Conan vibes. So again, if you're into that old school stuff, like it's great. I just, again,
playing
that
one.
Yeah, show it on the screen if you can. It's not the right thing for me if I'm coming directly from Blasphemous. But you see what I mean? How it's a little blurry.
Yeah,
The
it's the pixels aren't exactly. It's not exactly like pixel perfect. It's kind of fuzzy a little bit.
Yeah. That I don't know why they went with that style, but it is the controls are very tight, and you do unlock a lot of powers. And like I said, it's really like an early Sega Genesis, Super Nintendo vibe, as opposed to the stuff they were doing towards the end of the generation. But like, it's really well thought out. I really like the level design. Someone called it very early, very classic Castlevania. Yes.
Yeah, it's got a classic Castlevania style. Absolutely. Yeah. Very good.
No.
There's a lot of
yeah,
Castlevania mentions today with Ritual of the Night, also very Castlevania heavy.
I recommend it, but I can't play it right now after Blasphemous. It's too close, and Blasphemous is but not the same enough, right? So
I like what they're doing with the grapple shot.
It's very inventive.
Yeah,
I really do appreciate it. So the next one I tried was Nine Souls. This is off the recommendation from MJ Dark.
MJ Dark, that game is a classic. That game is almost like very much in contention of game of the year. Like people who play that game love that game.
I disagree.
You're fuzzy on the graph. Your cameras.
No, I look. Okay, that's weird.
You see that? You see it? I see it.
I see it. Yeah.
You're pulsing in a very weird way. There you go.
Very strange.
Yes. Pulsing. Yes.
So I don't know if I like it. And again, this is as a result of I just played a game with a similar game, but with different controls. And when I'm trying to do the muscle memory that I learned from Blasphemous and it doesn't work, it really annoys me.
And this game too is really difficult unless you ratchet down. You can ratchet down the difficulty, which is really cool of them, by the way, because you can tell that the game was built with that difficulty in mind. Like you can tell, it's one of those very parry heavy. If you miss that parry window, you're dust. right? Like
Yeah,
anyone
but
can smoke you if you're not
and it
careful.
seems they're using Spine for their animation style, and there's a lot of production value.
Right.
One thing I want to say about this
It's
game,
beautiful. Oh man.
yeah, but my God, did it take 1 hour of reading through text before the game starts? Jesus Christ! Like,
Yes.
were they
Yes.
trying
Yes,
to get
yes.
me to quit this game? Do they want people
Yeah.
to play it, or are they too busy
But
smelling their own farts?
But when it gets going, even the story, you're just like, yo, this is wild. It starts way left and goes way right. It's like cool and ancient looking and almost
It
almost
it it,
like
it
it's using certain tropes, and then it goes all the way into cyberpunky. It's kind of crazy.
yeah, it started with like I'm like, well, okay, is it a samurai type of vibe?
Mhm,
Okay, no, it's Cult of the Lamb. Okay, now
mhm,
he's a spy.
mhm.
Like
Damn it! I need an audio recording. So Sycamore
what's
says,
talking? Yeah, no,
"I quit
no,
already."
hold on. Thick
Too much.
is notorious for the 2 months talking, but my God, like they were really pressing their luck, right? To the point where I'm like, oh my, if you just, you know, but
Uh-huh.
again, I don't
When you
think the
when you
combat
catch that
system.
vibe of that combat, it is really like seriously.
Yeah, but
Shout
I
out
don't.
to the man Infinite Umbra, notorious player of difficult games. He's with it. He says he hasn't finished it yet, but it's a good game. It is when you catch the flow, it is. Oh
Now,
man,
Six says
you know.
something interesting, which is over reliance on blocking, and that
No, this is parry. The more you block, you like the block costs you actually. I think stamina. It's parrying. The minute you parry, it's I would say over reliance on parry. Right? It's always about that parry. The minute you
but I
parry
don't
it
think there's
correctly,
such
you
a thing
can
as
one
an
hit
over
kill almost
reliance
everything
on
on the
parrying,
parry.
right?
But that's what this is. This is 2D. If what do you call it? Shadows Die Twice is 3D parry the game. This is 2D parry the game, right? No matter how big or monstrous the boss or how difficult they are, if you find that parry window and you hit it just right, you can almost one hit kill almost any boss, almost anyone. That's what this game
Yeah.
is.
So
You know, Sekiro, yeah.
it is, and it's fine, and the world is really beautiful. But yeah, it's like Sekiro is I've never played Sekiro, so I don't know
Exactly.
what that means.
It's exactly like that. Yeah.
But again, I don't think it is wise to do two similar games right after the other. So I think I need to move to like a 3D game or like an RPG or something before coming back to this, because I do appreciate how well done this is. But I'm not, the combat's not gelling.
Man. Oh man.
Salt and Sanctuary. No, I haven't tried that, but I will. I will check it out.
It's beautiful. I have played that. It's a beautiful game. Good call out there, Karate Laundromat. Yeah.
So in realizing I needed to do something completely different, because I feel like I was being too overly critical on these other Metroidvania games, because I had just spent 120 hours playing one. I went to a game called, and this is the last one.
And by the way, real quick, to conclude what he was saying, Karate Laundromat says it's a parry with a rhythmic mechanic, and music works very well. It's basically what made Hi-Fi Rush enjoyable. That is Salt and Sanctuary.
I will check this out.
People should play. Yes.
So I went to a game called Bakaru.
Bakaru. That name sounds familiar. Bakaru.
Now, this game was on sale for I think 50% off. I think it's normally 40. It's 20 that you can get it for right now. It is.
I see exactly why Everborn bought it. I see exactly. It is very Everborn the game. Like when you see the cover art, you're like, "Yep, this is why Everborn bought it," because it's very much Everborn the game.
It is super Japanese, right? With the humor and all that. It is back to a mascot style platformer game, but this time you're not jumping on heads. You're beating people with sticks. But it is it is combat focused. There's an overworld
Okay.
that you select the levels that you go to. You get to run around. You do
Six says
these
it's
different
funny.
attacks. It is
It's fun.
very fun.
Okay.
There's this I completely remap my buttons because they want you to use the LB and RB buttons for left and right attack. I immediately switch those to X and Y.
Yeah.
And I move my dodge to B.
Okay.
And that made it feel like home in terms of the kind of action controls that I'm used to. And using that, and then you're using the R trigger for block, and then L to switch your powers or whatever. It is a very fun game. I don't know if I'm gonna stick with it yet. But it like if you want a good like 3D platformer, it's very good, and the combat is tight, and even on silent mode it runs at a lock 60. Doesn't matter how much stuff's on the screen, so it is very well optimized if you want to play it on handheld.
Nice. Okay.
Silent
Let
mode,
me
you'll get 60 FPS out of it. Click on it, watch some of the combat, and he gets more moves, and I'm just like early into it. Let me tell you how much time I played this for. I have just under 1 hour, and I'm on like level 3.
Okay. Graphically, it looks fun. I mean, it's nice and bright. It really does
saying,
like
3D game like
it's cool.
this.
It's cool.
To be running at
It is
60
cool.
in silent mode is a big deal.
It's pretty cool. Yeah, you're right. It does look very, very fun. It looks fun. It's got a little bit of that Mario going.
I'm telling you right now, make sure you remap your buttons, because LB
that sounds
RB
garbage.
is not the move.
That sounds like garbage. Yeah, it sounds like garbage. Absolutely. that is trash. Yeah, that's trash.
Switch it to XY and switch your dodge to B, and you will have a great time with this game.
I mean, these
second level.
This seems like a very much a handheld kind of game. You can easily remap those buttons easily with in their own menu before you get into it. Game looks fun, man. It looks like is this new or have we just missed it?
I don't know how new it is. I know it's on sale, so I don't know when it came out.
Okay, I'll dig through some of the history of this game, but like, is this just you purchasing like sight unseen? Like, hey, this looks interesting, I'll give it a shot, or did you get a recommendation?
September 24th. No, I saw it was on sale. I can't remember who put it in the chat. It was either Umbra or it was MJ Dark. Somebody put it. We in the Discord. Everybody post these sales. So I don't know who posted it, but shout out to whoever posted it in Discord.
This is awesome. I'm definitely buying this.
The sale is going to end soon if it hasn't already. So I recommend picking it up as soon as you can.
Yeah, excellent. This is great, man. You know,
those
we're doing lots of
to figure out
little games. Yeah.
I don't know which one I'm going to stick with. Maybe none. Maybe it'll be that Mayhem Brawler. We'll see. But let's move on. We spent an hour on this. It is a video game show. God forbid we talk about
I know. So we'll move on, because I did talk about Avowed, and you talked about a great plethora of awesome indies that you've been playing and trying out. But I will, before we move on, quick recommend, if you haven't tried this, because I played this and I tried this and I mentioned it to people on this show before, but this was back when it was only on Steam, and now it's on console and it's in Game Pass. And what game am I talking about? I'm talking about Mullet Mad Jack. I don't know if y'all heard about it. I talked about this some time ago. This, much like the other game that we were talking about, was an MJ Dark recommend. And when MJ Dark recommends, you play, because the man knows his indies and he's always about that great indie stuff. This game is all about that 80s vibes, sick swagger. That's what this, look at it. You're looking at it now. Cool car, driving down the road, awesome kick butt dude with a mullet who's got an awesome gun, and he kicks bad guys in the face, and he's talking smack to his chick on the phone. Like, that's what this game is. It is 80s swagger to the fullest extent, with cool Japanese accents.
I want to recommend something, and this is off of the recommendation, who always knows the latest indie stuff from MJ Dark. I don't know if he's listening, but there's a game called Look Outside. I have not seen this, but it is from Devolver Digital. So I trust MJ Dark's opinions, and I trust Devolver Digital to publish interesting things.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So
Absolutely.
it's on Steam right now for $10. I may pick it up just off of those recommendations, but I have not seen a trailer. I don't know anything about it. So maybe we want to put it on the screen, but it comes recommended from 2 high sources.
Okay. All right. So let's quickly before we move on, I will put this. Let me see here real quick. Where am I? There we go. So I want to really just as a quick aside, show some quick footage so people see what we're talking about with Mullet Mad Jack. This is literally,
somebody says it's on Game Pass. What's on Game Pass?
It is Mullet Mad Jack. This right here.
Oh, nice.
On Game Pass. You can literally play right now. It's the Doom engine, OG Doom engine. So this is like
what's
Doom shooter engine.
I think that OG Doom engine is open source now or something like that.
Yes.
And
Everyone's
so
doing
remember the game I told you about before called Sulaco, where they were using the Doom engine and it was pixel art.
Another amazing game. Yes, I love that.
This
game.
reminds me of that. That's interesting.
It's the same Doom engine. Yes, and of course Lucius in here, not outdone. I have played a lot of this game, even though he is right. I don't tend to be a multiplayer gamer, but 33 Immortals is awesome. It is awesome. And actually, it'll dovetail to the thing we were talking about before. I bet 33 Immortals would be the perfect Discord game, ladies and gentlemen. So if you happen to be wanting to join us on the Discord, you want to hang your day away with some buddies, talking some stuff, whatever we're talking, whatever games, whatever it happens to be discussing. I think we could roll with 33 people in the same group. That'd be awesome. So yeah, man, we might try that. 33 Immortals. It is out now, also on Game Pass and all the other places. But yeah, good shout out. I would have totally forgotten that. I did play many rounds of that beta, and it was a really fun time. They, in my estimation, they have done the good work of being able to incentivize like cooperation and communication, even without necessarily talking. Right, so everybody just like naturally grouped up together and just kind of played the game because you were more powerful that way. So very cool. Thanks for the recommend. So yeah, man, there's that, and you were saying that the Look Outside is another recommend from Mr. Dark. All right.
Yeah. Let's see what that looks like.
Let's see what is it? Is it? Huh? What? Okay, that's really
don't
weird.
Look outside.
No. It's Look Outside. But the trailer, and I'll put it on the screen so everybody can see. I was like, huh? What is this? It says the trailer says, "Don't watch this." Don't watch this trailer. I'm like, oh, what's going on? And this is literally from the people at Devolver. So this is their trailer for it. I was like, huh? Excuse me. All right, here we go. Oh, and Rick L says that K's screen are just as bad as Boom's. You know why? Because we are using the same tool, which is StreamYard, which is trash. I'm sorry. It is not great. I have tried many times to try and make it work better. This is not even images from my local machine. It's just being rebroadcast, and even that is difficult to do. So yes, I hear you. Because of that, we will probably try different tools in the near future. Salute to you. Thank you for the feedback. We're still working on it. So this looks like it's an adventure game.
They say it's a survival horror RPG.
Yeah, it looks like you an RPG in the old sense of the term, as in you walk in, you find the issue, and then you have to discuss or decide what you'll do with it. But it's not really action heavy. That's cool. It does look very good. It looks like a kind of game that would also run very light on TDP on something. Okay. Look out.
I'm not gonna lie, it does look like too much talking for sick, but it but it looks interesting.
It is for those who think gameplay can also happen in narrative games, right? This is a very narrative heavy that has gameplay as narrative. So if you are one of those people and you're not Sycamore, you went like
only $10 might be worth a shot.
Yeah, there you go. Why not? But yes, as we've already said, the man always comes with great recommendations, and every time we stick with his recommendations, we are not disappointed. But all right, let us move on. We have a couple stories I want to discuss, but the main topic that I want to discuss today will be some of the rumor and speculation we've heard about the Switch and what's happening. I hear some stuff going on in
I am
Switzerland.
so fascinated by the Switch 2 and
Uh-huh.
what
Uh-huh.
it means for everyone else. Like, not what it means for Nintendo.
But
What does
everyone,
it mean for everyone else in the industry?
Mhm. Yeah, and I want to break it down, sir. I want to get into it. I want to talk about that. We're gonna get to that. We're gonna get to that in about an hour, hour and a half. We'll get to that. But before we do, thank y'all once again, all the great people that are here. Hit the like button if you haven't done so already. We see we have about almost 200 people watching, between about 100 on the socials and about 100 more on the YouTubes. If you happen to be on the YouTubes, how about you hit the like button? How about if you're not a subscriber, do that. If you're a
Please
member, we thank you. Please and thank you. Yeah, if you're a member, we really appreciate you. Some of your contributions help to defray the costs of going to June to LA in June and all the places that we will end up finding
I
ourselves.
think that we should do a fund to go
Mm.
to LA so that we can do coverage out there. This is what I think we should do. Or
Okay.
maybe
Okay.
you see the Iron Lord's got a fund to go to Tokyo
Okay.
Game Show. Maybe we'll
Okay.
do that next year.
See,
But-
Everborn
we gotta
Saga
do
wants
one.
you to pay him to do like burpees while he's doing the show.
I
will
didn't say any of
gladly
that.
watch
I
you
didn't
pay
say-
him.
I said no
I
such
will
thing.
gladly watch you pay him to do burpees.
What I am
He's doing the
talking
show.
about is trying to get the flight and hotel covered so we
Uh-huh.
can give you the GCP take in June and rub
Uh-huh.
shoulders with the people and ask the questions that other people are not asking. That's
I
what I'm
appreciate
talking
that you
about. I
didn't
didn't
use
say
your
one
customary
word about
pause
burpees.
after the word rub, but that's neither here
Uh-huh.
nor there. Continue. Anyway,
I said
thank
rub
you guys
shoulders.
once again.
All right? I didn't say rub
I know,
anything
I
else. I
know.
don't know what's on your mind.
So, thank y'all once again for being here. And you know what? Let us get to the first thing
Did
that-
we
oh,
did we highlight I don't even want to ruin that name, but Pascal Greco, did we highlight that comment with the game
Oh.
recommendation?
actually, yeah. Everyone in the chat, if you want to play an awesome retro 2D platform indie with an amazing soundtrack, try Anton Blast. My last shout out because I love it. That's awesome. Cool. Let's put Anton Blast. Let me check it out here. Let's see here. Anton Blast. All right, very cool. I will check it out. We always love recommendations here. Ooh, that is a good looking graphics too. That's very cool. All right, so a recommendation from our chat, Anton Blast. Check us out, dude. I like it. Very, very interesting in its pixel art ways and whatnot. Let's see what the gameplay looks like. I see it. It's kind of like Pizza Tower, if I'm not mistaken, right? Isn't that like similar? Yeah, it's kind of like Pizza
I remember
Tower.
seeing the trailer for this.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and initially when I saw these kinds of games, I was like, I don't get it. But I played Pizza Tower. It is very fun. Like, it's one of those games where, it's like the Wario land.
It looks fun. I don't know if it's $20 fun, but let's see. Let's see if we can get some on this. Yeah.
Okay. But no, there you go. It does look fun.
No. It's absolutely on the wish list.
Mm-hmm.
So
That man looks upset. You're damn right he does. He's consummately upset. Look at this man's face. It's good. But same thing in the Pizza Tower series, right? The same idea. Like you're like the world is very much this way. And
this actually looks like the kind of platformer I think we're missing. It looks like I mean, he's a very interesting looking mascot, but a mascot platformer that is about the level.
Yeah.
And it does look fun. You know what? Hold on.
Hey.
Anton.
He
on PC.
Deals, bro.
You check out what you can get before you buy it for the full price. This is what you do.
That's it. GG Deals real quick. See what you can get for it. That's good. If you get something good, put it in the chat. More people can get their hands on it. That's cool. But no, thanks for the recommend, man. This is awesome. We'll add it to the list. This is the show where if I can get my butt in gear today, maybe my show notes will include all the game recommends.
Okay, wait a minute. Hold on now.
Here we go.
Hold on.
Mr. Everborn Saga has struck gold.
Let's see for a minute if we can actually get there. All right, now we talking $739 on CD keys.
Oh wow,
Now,
$739.
now you're getting
That's a good
purchased.
deal. That's
Now
a
you
good
get
move.
purchased. All right. Shout out to
That's a good move.
Greco.
There you go. There you go. So 739 CD keys. Go check it out. That's awesome. And not to be outdone, the great Hollywood Rules with a $10 super chat. He says, just saying good morning to two of my fellow gray beards and overall favorites. Pause on the rubbing. Loving the Sega Renaissance Everborn. Going away with Lady Hollywood Rules to Belize Monday.
Let's go.
ROG will be in tow. Man, have a good
Lagoon.
That's awesome, bro. That's awesome. That's awesome. That is really, really cool. Awesome, bro. Thank you for checking this out. Thank you for the super chat. You know, all your kindness. Appreciate you. So, all right, man. We're gonna build this list. If you have more, people want to see it, you know, throw it in the chat. I definitely will highlight any great recommendations.
By the way, that is $739 after tax. Like that's just the price.
Wow, that is super cheap, man. Is this gonna be the next soldiers? 15, 20, 80 hours later.
We do not know. But let's grab this. All right.
So okay. Everborn Saga, sir. I want to talk with you, and this is there's.
By the way, I see that slick stuff you said, Lucius Augustus. I want to see Everborn's reaction when people are buying his games for 37. Listen, the only way people can get these things is if the developer offers them in that bulk price.
That's right. That's right. He says
it's not like,
and then he continues to boot on your neck by saying he's loving these discounts.
That just means more fans.
I wonder how he'll feel about that as a developer.
That means more fans of the IP. Listen, a lot of this comic book stuff you see is loss leader stuff. It's called loss leader. You get them fans of the IP. They like the game, then they'll come and buy these sweaters like from the website at everbornsaga.com. That you should go now.
Justifying its existence.
I'm just saying.
I feel you. He's like, nah, man, you ain't gonna do me like that. Anyway,
like, let me ask you a question. And this is the thing, right? We're talking about that game. You see it as a steal, right? I could spend tens of thousands of dollars on marketing, or I could sell keys in bulk that will get people to get the game for cheap and then evangelize for it. And you'll have word of mouth marketing versus trying to do a catch-all YouTube ad. I'm just saying. There's a reason that people sell these keys to the key redistributors.
So Everborn, I want to talk to you about this story. And I'm trying to find the story that lent to this conversation, and I can't find it right now, but I'm going to dig through it while we talk. But I wanted to chat with you because and by the way, I love that. Like just the man slow-mo backslap with the perfect crystallization of my thoughts. Oh man. What well done, sir. Well done. As Everborn was talking, that's the whole thing, the only thing I was thinking in my head. Holy justification, Batman.
That's fine.
Anyway.
I know I just paid $739 for Anton Blast. You're more than welcome to go pay $20.
You good, sir. And then after we're done, I'll tell y'all later how y'all can save some money on the Everborn Saga comic book too. We'll tell y'all how to save some money on that. Come talk to me later.
These mofos are pretending like the first thing they check is that Humble Bundle and Green Man Gaming and deals.gg before they make any purchase on Steam. Shut your behind up.
Yeah. I'm sure. Now you're acting like everybody does it. Next thing you're gonna be talking about people rubbing their stuff against technology before they ship it, but that's a whole different conversation. Shout out to the Discord peeps. If you know, you know.
I don't know about that one. I missed that Discord conversation.
Yes, that's right. Anyway, so on Wednesday, myself and Mr. Hargeet Chani, as we do, were on prime time with Mr. Boomstick, and we were having a conversation about an article that Jez Corden had put forth. Right, this was an article related to why is it that see You said you weren't privy to that conversation, Mr. Darkwest. He says, yeah, no one does that, but Wolf rubs his junk on his stuff before he ships it to people. If you get anything in the mail from John Wolf, make sure you get that blue light. Anyway, stop. Anyway, so we were having this conversation, and the great Destin Legary actually happened to jump in and wanted to have a conversation with us about it. And this is the premise of the conversation, and I want to get your take on it and continue it on, and maybe get the take of the people in the chat as well, which is, it's been X amount of months now. What is it, 15 months or something like that? ABK deal has closed, but for some reason, it's only been dribs and drabs, very few and far between titles that have released on Xbox on Game Pass, right? Which they were very much on Front Street with their advocating about letting the deals go through at the time. Hey, the man already bought the game. There you go. Well done, sir. Well done. That's right. That's right. So they were very much advocating at the time that it was about getting games, building the library with ABK titles and this, that, and the third, and all of this. And Destin is very much tired of excuses as to why those games have not been put into the platform, right? Myself and Hargeet wanted to bring forth, even though I by and large agree to a certain extent that they should be doing more with that pot. Hargeet and I put forth a hypothesis that we think they're being a bit more strategic, right? They were, the first time they did it with the Bethesda one, they actually dropped a whole bunch of games on people, and historically they said that it ended up not being good for them because a lot of those games got lost in the sauce, as it were, right? I also think that at that time, the Bethesda games specifically, all of them were in every store already, both the Xbox games store and the PC variant of the store that's linked, as you know, right? But in the case of ABK games, all of them are in the Xbox store today, but not all of them are in the PC store, right? And the final thing that made me think that they're being strategic, and I want your opinion on this and the chat as well. I think that right now, today, the criticism is, oh, you could win a W to all Xbox gamers if you just throw these games into back compat, make them available, put them in Game Pass. Huge W for you. Why don't you do it? Right? I say,
okay, go ahead.
I say it's minimal. It requires minimal work, relatively, to do so. We're ballparking. Say 6 months per game, right? Say 6 months per game to do that, which means you cross all your T's, dot all your I's. Okay, it's in the PC store. It's in the Xbox store. Is it in the PC store as well? Port it to the PC store. Make sure if it's got UWP or whatever, like get it ready to go. Also in the Game Pass store, which is also not, right. All of that stuff. So, presumably, let's just ballpark and say 6 months per game. Right? I think that minimal amount of effort, relatively, is not financially advantageous to them to break code just to win a W for existing customers whose like monthly subscriber dues are always coming in anyway. And I think you'll see more of that stuff when they have a bigger play, when it's going to PlayStation, when it's going everywhere, when they're putting together like the COD collection everywhere, rather than just for existing Game Pass console / PC / existing ecosystem member, because they already got your money. Them doing something nice for you is great for you, but it costs them money and they don't get any new money from you. So that's why I think they're waiting and being strategic. Mr. Everborn Saga, sir, it's a lot, I know. We had a back and forth, myself and Destin and a few other folks on the show. What are your thoughts on it? People are criticizing them for not putting ABK games out. What are your thoughts?
I think there's a lot of reasons they could and couldn't be putting the games out. One of which that nobody talks about, and the people that do talk about it brush over it like it's nothing, is licensing.
Yeah.
Right? Once the lawyers get involved in this stuff, it doesn't matter that you own the IP. If some agent for some voice actor or some composer or somebody who's a part license owner or whatever it is, right? You don't know, right? Because they had a game where Kevin Spacey was in there, and his likeness is in there. How much you got to pay him, and do you want to
They have a
and
game.
deal with Kevin
They have a game in
Spacey?
there with Jon Snow in there.
Right.
You know what I'm
So
saying?
so the thing is, a lot of these things that we think are simple and we think, oh, this should only take this amount of time, maybe from a technical standpoint, and even then you don't know, right? Because sometimes you got to think, well, is this going to work? Like how are PC games and console games are designed the same today, but if we're talking about going back to the 360 eras and whatever,
Old
they
code.
were making
Old code.
completely different versions of these games, right?
Yep.
Completely different for PC. So again, and this is not to make an excuse for them, because I literally don't care about these games. I didn't play them. I played some of them, but I really didn't play them back then. This is why I'm not like a huge fan of Activision. But again, the Bethesda thing is different though, right? Because like they had been partnering with Bethesda for a while before that purchase, right? I just think and the Activision catalog is completely different because Activision did a lot of licensed stuff more so than Bethesda did, right? How much was Bethesda bringing in actors to do mocap?
Transformers,
right? So again, the point is we don't know, right?
He says that
I will say,
to make sure.
I will say that even the back compat program, some of the games that they worked on there took years to sort out the licensing. So I'm only saying to say it is not just a technology and work thing. Sometimes it is a licensing thing, and sometimes I'm not saying they're not voice acted. I'm talking about when you have a Kit Harington or a John Bernthal or whoever, that is very different from having that's a very different kind of contract than just saying it's voice acted, right?
So, by the way, just for the folks who about the conversation, this article here on the screen by the great Jez Corden was what brought up this conversation, which is basically him with an op-ed talking about how...
Wait a minute, hold on. We're saying licensing is not an issue, Slow-Mo? I hope that's not what you're saying. You're saying licensing plays no part in this.
While the debate rages in the chat, I will read this quick super chat from the great Lucius Augustus with a $5 super chat. He says, Tony Hawk Pro Skater 1 and 2 not
Bethesda is a different company than Activision. I'm sorry.
Is incompetent. It's competence than strategy. They're all capping. So I hear you on that, Lucius. I honestly think there has to be and those watchers of this show know how much I pretzel myself into avoiding this situation, but sometimes I have to do it. I agree with Everborn Saga, unfortunately, in this scenario. They see those companies and they use those companies from a licensing perspective as
composers and Halo composers sue these people over licensing, and you just gonna say licensing got nothing to do with this. Cut it out. I'm not even having that discussion. You're right.
Needless to say, I do think that they should be a bit more forthcoming, communicative with some of these reasons, right? Why 3 and 4 will be in there, but 1 and 2 is not, stuff like that. We can understand that maybe the publishing was weird or it's a technical gray area, but because no one knows, a lot of people fill in with speculation and rumor and a lot of ridiculousness that most likely isn't valid. So I would advocate that they would be a bit more communicative when it comes to where the games lie, what they're planning on doing with it, stuff like that. But yes, so we got Karai Laundromat in the chat saying that music licensing is the nightmare. Thanks to Sony for owning 80% of all studios. But I will say, it's not Sony only that tends to do that. There's BMI. They've all started kind of going to the top 2 or 3, and Sony being one of them. So I absolutely do agree with you, but I would say it's just the game, not the players. In this instance, I'd hate the game, not the player, because Disney does the same thing when it comes to their IPs and stuff. They all come for their pound of flesh. It is what it is, right? And I'm sure Microsoft will do the same. The question I want to ask is, how much did Sony pay them royalties for using their characters in certain games that are on Sony's platform? I'll leave it at that for those who don't want the spoilers, if you know what I'm talking about. Anyway, so yes, you think that this is much ado about nothing, Mr. Everborn Saga? You think that
no, I'm not saying it's much to do about nothing. I'm saying it's a combination of technical issues, licensing, and probably some business strategy. But we can't just proclaim that they're sitting on their hands and knees and they don't know nothing about it and they're walking around like idiots. Because I'm telling you that it has.
Do you think the smoke is righteous?
From a consumer's perspective, yeah, because that's not your problem. But the problem I see is, if you just want to say, hey, I'm a consumer, you said you were going to do these things, it's not done yet, that's fine. Once you start talking about how easy it is to do, that's where I'm like, well, you don't know how easy it is to do.
Yeah. Although, here's a cynical, goofy take from me. It's been 15 months. If they wanted to prioritize this process, it would be done by now. As far as the man hours they have and the resources they could bring to bear to get the entire library done, it could be done if they so chose. But that's where I feel, and this is my cynical take, that's where I feel like it is far less financially advantageous to put a team for 6 to 8 to 10 to a year work 15 months on bringing all these back compats back just for the purpose of winning W's for the community, when instead you could be doing that for, let's say, the COD collection. You break code, and that's a separate project, which equals ROI, which equals funding, right? And then another project, which also equals funding. I feel like they're going to be strategic in where they take some of the older library and dole it out to fill in some gaps and stuff to make it more financially advantageous for them.
Here's the thing. All I am saying is what you should be saying, and shout out to Infinite Umber with the code for Wavetail for Steam. What you should be saying is, I don't care what they have to do. I want these games. Sure. Just say that. Absolutely. Do not pretend that you know how easy or difficult it is for them to make those things happen. Just say you don't care. And that is fine, because you paid for a service. They promised you a thing. You want the thing.
She would know in the world of development as she is in. She's saying it's a combo of music, real life branding presence, and skater likeness, specifically for the Tony Hawk Pro Skater 1 and 2 most likely. But yeah, it's never as simple as all that, right? So
but that's how they think about things in Canada. So it's
oh man, it is what it is. And by the way, I won't put it on the screen because we don't want to swear, but Lucius, we hear your sentiment, and I actually think that on this show both of us agree with your sentiment by and large. It's just the flippant way that people talk about it like it's just a copy paste. That's where we got it well, actually, and that's actually where what I got into with Destin about it as well. I agree with him that if they wanted to prioritize it in the last 15 months, they could have, and they would have, and it would be out there by now. But it's not financially advantageous. It just isn't. Like, you're spending just to make you happy, but you've already paid your subscription fee. You already bought a console. What will them spending this do for you or for them for you right now? And you, consumer, have every right to say, I don't give a F what it costs. You said you'd give it to me. I want it. And you have every right to do that, right? And you have every right to feel that way. And I feel that way sometimes too. I just kind of calibrate my thinking to the business realities so I don't think or want things that I can't get anytime soon, right? I expect when a new COD is coming out, we're going to probably see some older CODs to lead the way, right? They'll kind of do things like that. And as newer IPs materialize, the new Spyro game or whatever, then the older Spyros will come out and things like that. I have a feeling more of that, will be happening in the short term. But hey, we'll see. I know that people have been complaining about it, and I hope a lot more people complain about it to the point where we see them actually do something and come out and actually talk about it. Even if they're going to continue to be strategic with doling it out, I would love for them to sit down and go, look, this is our plan for ABK games, because we know people have been complaining about it and talking about it. We want to be more clear about it. That'd be great, But all right, so Everborn, let us talk. If you're still here, let us talk a bit about AC Shadows. I haven't played it. Have you tried it yet, sir?
I bought it and have not played it yet.
Neither have I. I actually plan on most likely purchasing it, but I may even be subscribed to it as part of the Ubisoft subscription service. I hear, by all accounts, this has been one of the saving graces for Ubi, and this is so far claiming a lot of great credit. It made a million players launch day. Freaking great, pretty awesome. It sounds like a lot of people are enjoying what they're playing. It sounds like the combat's cool. It sounds like there are modes that can stop it from being such an open world big thing, and kind of turns it into like a mainstream kind of story-driven linear progression kind of a game. Pretty cool. What do you think of that? Did you hear about that? They have this mode that strips out like choices and what do you call it? Romance options and all this. It just kind of keeps the games linear.
I mean, I heard there's good ways that you can tune it, like you can set stealth to one-hit kills, meanwhile still setting the stealth mechanic to difficult, meaning they're not just going to stop searching for you because you went in some bushes, right? And then you can turn combat difficulty up, but you can sort of have this rewarding, well, even though stealth is hard, I get the reward of the one-hit kill if I get to someone from a sneak attack kill. So I do think that's interesting. I don't know how it plays out because, again, I haven't started it yet. But those kind of options for the AI in the game are super interesting to me, and I think it would be good to see more games try that. How is this faring with the critics, by the way?
That's why I was literally typing Assassin's Creed Shadows into Metacritic as we were talking, because I wanted to see. I hadn't paid attention to it. I tend to not pay attention to this stuff, but people consider it important, so it's worth check out real quick. But yes, so far critics are generally favorable at an 81, which interesting. And this is out of 77 reviews, and this is on the PlayStation 5, of course, which has had 80 reviews. PC has had 45 reviews, and Xbox has had 21 reviews. Funny enough, on the Xbox side with 21 reviews, it's gotten 85, which is the highest review it's gotten, because obviously less reviewers in the pot. So let's read some of the high level stuff that people are saying here based on the 77. So let's see here, 100. Wow, some people are giving it like perfect score. Amazing. That's amazing. I've never seen an Assassin's Creed get a perfect score before. That's quite something. And a lot of these at least from our reading, and you tell me if I'm wrong, a lot of these are not really really mainstay outlets that we see. I mean, there are the IGN subvariants, the IGN Brazil and the like. But the only one that I think I saw of note, Gaming Bolt gave it a 90, which is pretty awesome. That's pretty cool, Oh, and of course, as we will not forget our chat, shout out to Zach Riley with a Warhammer code.
End times Vermintide.
Cool. Yeah, man, that's awesome. You guys are just being so generous today, man. This is really cool, man. Oh, Jesus, these guys are all in the chat being crazy. But anyway, so yeah, man, it looks like Gaming Ball gave it a good review. Says whether it's a deadly shinobi or a formidable samurai, Assassin's Creed Shadows is a joy to play. That's simple, straight to the point. It's the job done. What do you think? It seems good. I want to see why it's weighted a little low. It all seems pretty positive. Sack News
Well, I
gave
mean,
it
I
an
heard
80.
some people saying it's more of the same, which is weird because other people saying it's very different. So I don't
Mm.
know. I got to play it for myself to see what
Yeah, me too. Me too. Yeah. And
what's
IGN
going
gave it
on.
an 80. Okay. But yeah, we haven't played it today. I haven't played it yet. I will play it shortly after I finish Avowed. If you haven't had a chance, if you have had a chance to play it, let us know what y'all think. Drop some of your thoughts in the chat. No spoilers if you can. And I wanted to get to it as quickly as possible. Looks like it's going to be a pretty awesome game. Looks like the Mouth Breathers didn't win on this one, so by and large, it looks like it made a million players day one. And it's good.
2 million players day 2. They're already up to 2 million.
Oh wow, there you go. Excellent. This is awesome. Yeah, that's awesome. So yeah, I hope more people get a chance to play it. That's excellent. So quick aside tangent that I want to get on here. Everborn, you and I have been on this train about like games and game makers diversifying all over the place, and of course Zach Riley is taking his time and deciding that today our show will be the day where he does his code giveaways. So there's Torchlight, another great game in the chat there, a 360 era game, which means it runs like butter on any handheld out there. So grab that code and shout out to the man Zach Riley. Oh, by the way, if you play this game on a handheld, you're gonna have to manually map it because if I'm not mistaken, Torchlight does not have a automated controller support. But that's why you got Steam input. They'll be able to get.
Hold on. Can you look at Lucius Augustus chat? Because I really think he's operating on like 30 hours a day while the rest of us are on 24. What is this? I just bought Monster Hunter and AC Shadows day one. Both those came out like 2 weeks away from each other after playing Avowed. Where's the time coming from?
Yeah, well, you know what time is coming from. Come on, bro. You know where the time is coming from. He's a young man, a young man of working age. He's got the grip, well mannered, owns his own home, plays his own games, ain't got to worry about.
Not put too much of the man's business out there.
Hey, ain't got any whippersnappers messing with the man. See, he puts it out there. He's a single man with no kids. It is what it is. There, boom. Those of us who are the opposite of him look at him and go, those were the days. I'm trying to finish Avowed. Damn it. It is what it is. You know what I'm saying? We got to wake up at 5 a.m. to get a couple of quality hours of gaming in. This man is like, stomping on games and moving on to the next 100-hour game. It is what it is. Shout out to you. Good job. All right. We're just jealous. That's clearly what it is. We're just clearly jealous. Absolutely jealous. That's right. Enjoy it. Your time will not last. You will miss those days when they are gone. But anyway, so for y'all who are out there playing AC Shadows, you think we should do an AC Shadows giveaway as well? I think we should do an AC Shadows giveaway.
I mean, Umbra said he's doing one next week, but I'm not.
Yeah.
Oh, wait a minute. We got a giveaway for Ghost Trick.
Oh, the great Cozy Beluga. Thank you so much, Cozy. That is awesome. Ghost Trick. If you get a chance to get it, let her know. This is awesome. Thank you so much. We are like just dropping codes in the chat like all day today. This is awesome. Excellent. Okay. Anyway, so before we move on to some more stories, I would say, if you haven't hit the like button already, please do so. We are here every week. We're going to be here. Next week will be an awesome, awesome show. I said it at the top. I will say it again. We will have the audio director from Compulsion Games joining us. We will be talking all about South of Midnight. He'll be joining us for a nice little interview. He'll talk about all the stuff about South of Midnight. We'll pick his brain about some of the stuff, aspects of that game. Excited for next week. Excited to talk to him. So yeah, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, hit the little icon so that when we go live, you will be able to see that we are going live. Dumb Stuff Productions asks, who else is 33 immortalizing? She will be 33 immortalizing, good sir. You can come check us out in the Discord because I venture to guess that I will most likely be putting that game on and asking more folks to join us and seeing how many of them can join us. See if we can get to that 33. That'd be cool. Imagine rolling with 33 deep. That'd be great. And y'all know each other. That'd be really cool. But anyway, thank you for being here, man. Thank you for the shout outs. Thank you for letting people, let people play with you. Let people communicate and let your Saturday morning get great. But anyway, let us move on to the next story that I wanted to bring up to you, Mr. Everborn Saga, and that is the fact that it seems that gaming is kind of diversifying in very weird, odd ways. This is a new one. I don't think you saw this one. And it came and it hit, it was a blip on my radar. And I was like, Google is literally putting every single Android game, bringing it to Windows. Installer, native, boom, Windows. Which means technically every game that's on iOS that's also on Android is now on PC as well. They're kind of blending, that the world where we always talk about console games or consoles are not really existing things anymore. Now they're trying to do PC games versus mobile games. There's no real difference there either because they're bridging the gap and making everything just super agnostic. What do you think of this idea?
Does that mean Android games will also be on the next Xbox? I'm asking for a friend.
Absolutely, sir. This is where this is the Ouroboros we're in here. We're snake is eating its own tail. That's what's
I'd like to see what the user experience of this is.
Wow.
Google bring
Zach
it. When
Riley,
is that gonna happen?
Sir.
Ooh, Jedi Knight. Okay.
Zach Riley is prolific this morning. He's just like, codes. He's just throwing it out there. Got it falling out of his pocket everywhere. Thank you, Zach. Amazing, man. Thank you. Yeah, man. They're bringing this out. This was during they had the 2025. They're bringing it out now. Obviously, they depreciated their plans for Stadia, but now it looks like they're where they are making money, which is exactly the same place that iOS is making all this money. It's just basically sitting back, setting up an ecosystem and allowing game devs to make awesome mobile games that people play, right? And now they're bringing all that to even the store. So just like you can go and download the Google launcher, the Amazon launcher rather, you can now download the Google launcher and then play your Google games, the games that you bought on Google, presumably here. Right? Now, my question is, why would you do that? Why would you do that instead of playing it elsewhere? Because more often than not, most of these games are also elsewhere as well, right? Unless there are very many exclusives that are on Android that are not elsewhere. Forgive me, I don't play in these waters as deeply as others. So if there are exclusives, please correct my thoughts there. But I always thought that those were very much a multi-platform store. So if you have one in the store or one store come to PC, it's basically like all the games coming to PC. Am I wrong in that? Now, Cozy is saying that there are some mobile games that only exist there. I guess my question is, so are you saying that there are mobile games that only exist, say, in Android and you won't find them? I know there's vice versa for sure. I know for sure iOS has a cache that brings certain apps or certain apps and the like that'll be there and not in Android. I didn't think that reciprocated the other way as well, but I could be wrong. Yes.
Well, I think the Apple Arcade stuff, a lot of them are giving those games to Apple for like exclusivity contracts, right? Like, so that Sonic game that just came out, Sonic Dream Team, which is a really good game. You should check it out. Works really well with a controller.
But those are few and far
between. You can't get that on Android. Yeah.
Those are few and far between. Most of them that are on our Arcade, and funny enough, I'm an Arcade subscriber. I totally forgot I've been subscribed to Arcade because the kids.
Yeah, a lot of people are subscribed to Arcade. Don't even realize.
Don't even know it. Yeah. It just kind of there with your sub or whatever, comes with your new phone or whatever, and just kind of becomes what you do. But I guess what I'm saying is, what I've seen is, with the exception exactly what you're saying, like of something like a Sonic Dream Team and a few other games that are like super interesting drivers to the ecosystem. Most of those games tend to be like clean versions of existing games, meaning other app stores have the same game, but they're ad ridden or something, and then they'll strip out the ads and have the plus version for the arcade. So it's the same game everywhere. Only the other app stores, they have to like institute the ads as a method of getting paid. And of course, the stripped version is only for the arcade because they're paying them to put it there, which seems to work, right? So I appreciate that. As more and more like phones become more mature and more controller support becomes a bit more ubiquitous in these mobile stores, I feel like I'm starting to venture more into those waters, right? Because if a game like Resident Evil can play there pretty well, then the chances are more games can play well in that as well. So, and let's be clear. I mean, you tell me, Switch games are literally mobile games. They're built on a mobile platform, so they might as well be anywhere. And if The Witcher 3 can play on Switch, then anything can play on Switch. So,
right. I mean, listen. At the end of the day, on iPhone we got Resident Evil 4, right? We got we got Death Stranding, right? On these mobile devices. So
yeah.
But I don't think it's going to do much because I just don't know that people want to play those kind of games that are, designed as touch first. They're going to want to play it on their mouse and keyboard or even on a hand. I don't know. I don't know. We'll see. I'd like to hear some numbers about this. But what I do find hilarious is that while Google is literally fighting in court to stop Microsoft from putting a store on Android, they're like willy-nilly, oh, here's the Play Store on Windows. Get all our games from us.
You're darn right.
Hilarious.
You're darn right. They're fighting to keep their ecosystem the way it is, but they're enjoying the benefits of that Windows ecosystem because it's open. It is what it is. I suspect that there's somewhere Microsoft lawyers are just like writing it down. Okay, yeah, we'll use that one against them in court. Yeah, yes, absolutely. Anyway, so I think we should get to the main story of the day. I think that's going to take a little bit of time, and it's not really this, but this is what brought it to mind. And what brought it to mind was the rumor of the Switch 2 and its potential capabilities that we didn't initially thought it had. Okay, so I don't know if you've heard this rumor, but rumor has it now that the Switch 2 will feature a lot of some interesting features, a lot of buzzwords that if you are in the handheld space, you may recognize. We're talking about a 120 hertz OLED LCD screen. We're talking about VRR display with HDR support, right? We're talking about capabilities from a perspective that a lot of other handhelds that you know of currently enjoy now. Now, they enjoy them and they don't necessarily get as much fanfare because they're not as integrated as you would imagine something like a Switch would be, right? So obviously when those features are there, they become very, very well integrated and become something important. So do I believe that this thing has 120 hertz? Do I believe that it's a VRR / HDR display? All that stuff I can take or leave. And actually, I would even err on the lesser side because the great Fox has already come out and put the word out that he would find it very surprising if it were, because some of the requirements that you'd want to hit for it to adhere to certain thresholds of 120 hertz on an LCD versus an OLED and VRR and all that would be kind of ridiculous, almost wasting of money. So he's surprised if it would be these specs. But before we get into it too deep, Mr. Everborn Saga, what do you think, man? Do you think the Switch 2 can? I'm prepared to call this thing an 8-track player from upgrade from the Abacus. Are we looking at a CD player? What are we looking at?
We might be looking at an MP3 player, sir.
Oh, you are.
Wait a minute.
Smoking something, sir.
Okay. Sorry. Let's back up. Mini disc.
Yeah, that small window. That small window with mini discs mattered. Myself and my studio friends really love those things.
Here's my issue with all of this, right? In the lead up to the OG Switch, we heard wild claims about what it would do, right? So right now, we're talking about rumors of this thing having DLSS, right? We're talking about 120 hertz screen, VRR, HDR support. We're talking about PS4 Pro power. I just don't want to set ourselves up to a place where we're going to be disappointed. And so If you let everybody tell it, this thing is like a 4070, right? And we're gonna get it. And I'm sorry, when we look at the Steam Deck and when we look at the ROG Ally and when we look at the Lenovo Legion Go, like these things are all, and we know Nvidia is not charging cheap for their hardware. I know it's Nintendo. So again, we know this thing is not going to be $700 and $800. So where's the 120 hertz 1080p screen going to come from?
Sure.
Where is where's the NPUs and all of this going to come from in this thing for Nintendo, who likes to make money on their hardware?
Absolutely. That's why I told you I don't agree with any of these rumors. Well, I don't.
And they might be true. I'm just not banking on any of them.
Me neither. Absolutely. But it does bring forth an interesting question and a conversation that I want to have with you, sir. And before we get there, 2 super chats, both from Flight 116. $2 super chat. Salute to you. Says, like Blood Men, Part 1. Excuse me, I meant Blood Omen Part 1. Stuck on PS1, while the Legacy of Kain series is everywhere. Yeah, I agree with you, sir. I agree with you. I would love that Legacy of Kain series to get that respect it deserves. I think that is an underrated series. Like, more people should know it exists. And then they released it in that hodgepodge ridiculous way they did. I was just like really disappointed. Anyway, appreciate you for your support and your comment. The reason I bring this up is that we now live in a world, right? I will be right there with you and say I don't necessarily think VR displays or HDR displays or 120, like what Nintendo is doing is trying to find a new floor. Let's be clear, they don't find ceilings, they find floors where they can offer you hardware that's still useful and usable for X amount of years while still making money. Exactly. So, excuse me, still getting over some coughing. The question is, with all of the new hardware out there, your Lenovo Legion Go's, your Ally X, 80-watt batteries, the Extreme, the Z1 Extreme, all these other really,
they're all Steam Decks in my house, apparently.
Right? Just like we were having the conversation about what GTA 5 did and the space in between it to GTA 6 and what people are expecting from GTA 6, because the space in between 5 and 6 has been monstrous, right? A lot has happened between that time. Similarly, a lot in the handheld space has happened between Switch 1 and now Switch 2. Customers have a lot more options in this world today. It's not as big because, let's be real, Switch is the monster in any room it walks into. But that brings me to this question. They're throwing around these numbers that you hear when you're talking about the Aya Neos, when you're talking about the Steam Deck, when you're talking about the Lenovo Legion Go and all these. Is there a world when they release a device that does not adhere to any of these new flashy buzzwords? Nintendo just continues to be Nintendo and people are disappointed. Or do you think this is much?
Well, okay. So here's the thing. People online are generally miserable. So people will find a reason to be disappointed about something, right? That's just what it is. So factoring that in, I think if you believe it's going to do all these things, you're going to set yourself up for disappointment. Here's what I am looking for out of the Switch 2. Will it be able to run a lot of the mainstream games that it cannot run today? And if it can, what alongside like better, like newer Mario Kart and Zelda games that can do new things because of the new tech that is afforded them? That is what I am looking for. I am not looking at it in comparison to the specs on paper of a ROG Ally or a Z1 Extreme or a Steam Deck or whatever. I'm just saying, can it run these games, and what can we get from from these other things. All the other stuff is happenstance, but I am interested to see what something as popular as the Switch brand does when it can now run Call of Duty and GTA and all those things. What does it do in the market, and how does it become positioned against the things like the PlayStations and the Xboxes? Because a lot of the times it's positioned as a secondary device, and the most common combination is PS5 and Switch.
Yep.
What happens when that Switch runs all the Xbox and PlayStation
Yes, when it's no longer considered the off doing its Nintendo thing, when it's now considered no, we have the bells and whistles. We are the mainstay. We are the ones that you should play instead of the other guy. This seemingly is their return to competition against the others. Seemingly, based on rumors.
And again, the others are all rumored to be making handhelds to now compete with this. And that is where they would.
And this brings my question, sir. Now you see why I'm asking the question. Yes, a lot of rumor and speculation. Many of them will be false. Every time there's new hardware coming out, there's always rumor and speculation, and they're usually false. But between the time of the last one and this one, a lot has changed on the ground. A lot. Handhelds are now the name in gaming. People are excited about it, both on the outskirts and also in the mainstream. It's becoming a mainstream thing where your Best Buys, you can just walk around and play with them. They're there. You can touch them. Oh, what's a Legion Go? What's an Ally? What's this? What's that? There's talk of Legion Go 2s now that are already being in pre-order. The what do you call it? The MSI Claw is like doing really interesting things that we didn't think they would be able to do, right? So while Nintendo has enjoyed pole position for a very, very long time, and they well-deserved, right? And it's for a right reason. I do bring this conversation up because it's not a fear or a worry, but it's just an interesting factoid that I think will be worth investigating. Will people continue to still look at Nintendo's offerings, which always tends to be gameplay focused and making sure they're conservative in their budgeting and all of that, right? Like, while Nintendo's still pushing, and it looks like they're trying to be now more out front and not just be a companion device, will they still be able to thread that needle and have consumers not expect the newest, latest, best from them, while still expecting newest, latest, best from Xbox and PlayStation, right?
Yeah, but they've never been on Front Street saying you need to look at us for tech, right? But they've
also for a long time not been on Front Street with a device that would even be remotely in the conversation, which this is purporting to be as part of the conversation. It is new, whether they call it a 8-track player or not. It does look like it might be an MP3 player is the question.
You know? Yasuke, aka the Black Viking.
Yes. There are so many people who are reaching out to me talking about how Yasuke is doing big things, including like having like relationships, and I've seen some very interesting videos in the chat. By the way, shout out to the great Black Viking joining us. What's going on, good sir? But yes,
and Scott the Gamer Dude. What up?
And Scott the Gamer Dude, yes, another great member of our community.
So
yes.
Here's the thing. Like, how does Sony position themselves against Nintendo, where people may just choose
title?
People may just choose the I'm talking about these casual people, right? They may just say, you know what? I just play Call of Duty. Why don't I play it on the Switch where I can go anywhere with it? Right? And if I'm doing that, oh, well, now these other games that I couldn't get are right here at the same time. And I don't know, because what makes the Steam Deck and what makes the other PC-based handhelds interesting is that it plays all these games. But if the Switch will also be able to play all those games in a more cost-effective and streamlined form factor with UI or whatever, do they run away with it? And then the other side of it is, since there is not a lot of differentiation between, well, it doesn't seem like there is. I could be wrong. It doesn't seem like there's a lot of differentiation between Switch and Switch 2, other than the 2 on the side of the box, right? Are people just going to look at this like, yeah, we have 5 Switches in our house already because we got, 4 kids or whatever, right? Plus one of the parents' games or something like that, right? Do I need to buy this new one, or do they look at it like it's just a Switch HD? Because a lot of it is going to be cross compatibility, right? So a lot of it is still going to be the same games because they don't want to walk away from that 150 million. And if they do, and most of the games are available on the OG Switch, is this just the continuation, or is it the whole OG Switch audience is now going to replace their Switches with this Switch 2?
I doubt that.
I don't know the answer to that.
That's why them threading the needle in their marketing is very, very, very important here, right? What you described is exactly the fear of Wii to Wii U. They don't want to do that again, right? They want to definitively set this thing apart as its own device for the future. This is not a 1.5. This is a 2.0. Yes, it's Switch 2. It is better than the one you currently have. Not an upgrade, different, new generation, right? All the while still threading the needle further and going, oh, but if you have all your Switch games, they still work here as well. There's compatibility.
And let's be clear, you could count me in for 3 of them if I can get my hands on them.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm doing this. At least 3, because I need one for me. I need one for the kids. It's like,
So I have the same number amount, but my ratio is different. I need 2 for me and 1 for the kids. Why? Because usually day one, the Gen 1 hardware of a Switch is the most vulnerable. So we got to be ready for a little bit.
I'll say this though. If I can only get 1 because of resource supply constraints, everybody else is SOL.
You're fending for yourself, kiddos.
What did they tell you on the plane? Secure your mask first.
That's right.
And what did Jordan say?
I think I'll be getting 3. What did Jordan say? He says, all right. Yeah, and you know what? Aaron has the right of it there, right? You're probably getting 1 or 2 day one, and then you're gonna save up for that OLED version that will most likely come out like 6 months to a year.
Kids don't need OLEDs, but I gotta get.
Yeah, they don't need that.
I gotta get mine now and then for them. But whenever OLED comes out, then I get that. That's probably also when you'll see the OLED version, the VRR 120 hertz.
Yes,
all of that
when it's OLED. That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. Yes, but I guess that brings me to the pertinent question that brought this whole conversation about, which is which is for those of you in the chat, right? We are. I wouldn't consider myself a hardcore Nintendo gamer. If you check by the numbers, if you check by the dollars and cents, I guess you would say so, because I buy almost every game they release, because I play with my kids, I play by myself, so sure, but I would not consider myself a day one diehard guy like that, right? And I'm not sure, maybe you guys are. You can tell me if you're different. Knowing what the Switch offers, or potentially what the Switch, knowing what the Switch has offered rather, and knowing what the Ally can do, Switch, Steam Decks can do, all of these new hardware handhelds that are in the market now that are vying for your attention and your dollars, what does Switch have to do to entice you to put them on top? Or is it the fact that they're a console is all they need to be? They have exclusives, they have a closed ecosystem, that's it. Even if the hardware is still relatively, incapable. What do you think, Evan Boy? You are talking on mute, sir.
My bad. I posed a question a while ago about, okay, what happens when the Switch can play all the games? Will people just get the Switch 2 instead of these Steam Decks or whatever, and play all these indie games and these other things that they play on the Steam Deck now on the Switch 2 because they can? And the problem is, right, you're not getting Anton Blast for $739 on the Switch 2. You gonna be paying full price plus online access, and I gotta wonder, right?
Yep.
And now, am I getting one to play Nintendo's games? You're damn right I am.
But
For
your
the other
point,
stuff,
sir,
I think I'm
your point,
still
sir,
sticking with the
is
PC handheld.
super valid. People keep talking about how the Switch is going to change things, and I always speak anecdotally for me, because you can only speak for yourself. But me, myself, and I, like you, my priority, my first and foremost, I got kids, I got a wife, I got all these expenses, and kids need games. We all need. How much is that thing costing on deals.gg? That is move number one. And then secondarily, other stores and whatnot, right? And because of that, I don't care how capable this device is, it is still a mobile processor, which requires specifically engineered games made for it, versus all these other handhelds that literally just jump into the PC waters the minute they're built because they can just run PC code. This can't do that. Still needs custom engineered game for it, meaning Nintendo can still say, well, we think our game is worth $150, and it'll stay that way forever because Nintendo says so, right? You're not finding soldiers on PC for 50 cents and just happening to playing it on your Switch 2. That will not exist, because on Switch 2, it'll cost whatever it costs day one, and it'll stay that way. So because of all of that, I still kind of think Switch 2 is not going to be replacing all these other existing environments. I might be wrong. Because again, anecdotally,
it's a different customer. It's a different customer that's going to go after those, right? Because let's be very clear. If you come, I had to learn this, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you come from the console space, like CD keys, deals,
you're blind.
Right?
You're like
you
one of
don't
those
even
horses
know about that, so that's not a thing that's gonna wave you over to. What I'm saying is, if you are the kind of person that knows about,
who has
things,
options,
interested in the PC handhelds or Steam Decks today, I don't know that you're just gonna get a Switch and say, I'm gonna buy my games here now. I don't think so.
Yeah, I don't think so either. Right. Even if this hardware is capable, and let's not get it twisted. I hope it's very capable. Right. The reason why I call this thing the Abacus for as long as I've called it the Abacus is because I feel like they should have done more, because their development process is always so top tier. Right. Their developers can do so much with seemingly like debilitated hardware. Right. So provide them a bit more oomph, and they can make magic. I want to see them make magic. Imagine that Zelda team have a little more oomph in the tank. Imagine them using real like new technologies to express themselves creatively.
Can we highlight BT Mavericks? Let's go.
Oh, okay. BT Maverick says 90% of Switch 1 owners don't know what a PC handheld is or CD keys. They just buy it because they're casual
Basic B's wearing Uggs.
Wow. Bro.
That is the comment of the day. You have won the GCP chat for today, sir.
Now I'm convinced that BT Maverick is the sock account for Daniel McGee. Because this level of Nintendo slander is Daniel McGee worthy. Holy crap. So real quick, for those who don't know, Daniel McGee claims that those of us who game on every other platform, we're all in Star Trek. We're all in Starfleet.
Where's Donald Taku when you need him?
I know we need him today. And those who game on Switch are the planet that's on the ground that we're looking at from space, and they're playing with crap, and they're playing with sticks and dots, and we're just like, our first directive is to not mess with the civilizations in their infancy. Leave them alone. We'll sit back and watch them playing with their crap and their dots. This is the Daniel McGee's slander for Nintendo games. But yes, thank you, BT Maverick. That is the worthy slander. Anyway, I have to ask. Does anyone in our chat, and I think we'll round it out with something like this. Does anyone in our chat think, and this is more specific to the console gamers in the room, because I understand that some of us who are not console gamers, those of us who diversify our gaming portfolio, kind of open up, and now we were playing everywhere. But you remember, Everborn, there was a time where you could not fathom gaming on anything but your console with the controller in your hand. And
then the glorious
right?
Steam
and then the world opened up, right? So in that world, do you, console gamer in our chat, in our community, see a world where this device comes out It's very capable, right? Very capable. And this is a hypothetical, right? We're talking it's a small box, a small little handheld thing, but with the power of NVIDIA and everything going into AI, now they've been able to use the super they've been able to use AI to bridge the gaps in super sample.
That's what you were going to say, with the power of friendship.
Friendship, no. But with that, can you imagine this being your priority, your mainstay device, your daily driver console? Like you play your Xbox daily, like you play your PlayStation 5 daily. I want to hear y'all from in the chat, right? Like, if you're a PC gamer like me, you're not included in this because chances are you're not that guy, right? You're gonna be playing on console.
I'll be back in 2 seconds.
Okay, you're gonna be playing on PC because you know that the PC will always end up having some kind of a cut above or some kind of higher fidelity or whatever, right? You play on PC for a reason, right? You deal with the tweaking and twerking. Shout out to Lucius Augustus. You deal with that tweaking and twerking because what you, at the end of it, your PC experience, gaming experience, is a cut above everything else. So dealing with that crap is worth it, right? As a console gamer, and I'm not talking about you, Black Viking, because I know you got a good rig out there in the world. I know Scott, the gamer dude, you too also have a pretty decent PC and all of this. Right? I'm talking about those who are very much content living in that console ecosystem. You grab a controller, you press a button, you're playing, you hit play, it works. You get nothing else besides the console experience. If the Switch was a contender today, Switch 2, contender, meaning in a real way can give you games that are not left behind because of hardware debilitating or limitations or what have you. If this can sit alongside the PS5, can sit alongside the series consoles and give you, console-like performance and whatnot, right? Do you consider this Switch 2 next gen, say instead of a PS5 or a PS6, or say the next Xbox? I would love to know that, right? And then obviously we're having a hypothetical conversation. This is a world where this device can offer the same level of fidelity, or at least like competitive fidelity to these other things, right? By the way, Everborn, I posed the questions in the chat, and so far, folks are not having it. They can't do it. They won't. They can't. Nope.
Do what?
Freddie Fox is like, nope. I'm asking the question. I'm posing the question. I haven't even put the thing in there, but people are already very, very much passionate about it. Asking, in a world where this device is capable, where it can throw blows with, say, blows with, say, a PS5 and a series console, right? Can you see yourself as a mainstay console gamer? Not us, because we're not those people. As a mainstay console gamer, can you see this device like being the one you choose over the PS6 or the next series console or the next Xbox?
So the problem is, I think a lot of us in here forget about like us, me or you, but there's a lot of console people here that just get all three of these things anyway. So it's not a matter. That's my point.
That's why I was being very particular in my demographic. It's not for us. Those who are multi-console or multi-gaming ecosystem gamers, this is not for you. This question isn't for you, because you'll add it to your ecosystem for a different reason. I'm talking about the ones who choose one console and go, "Yep, this is I am now gaming on Xbox or PlayStation."
Right. So here's the I think the issue with that, right? And I think it speaks to the things that we're seeing in the market, which is, for the most part, Switch people are Switch people and PlayStation people are PlayStation people. So do I think someone's going to walk away from their entire PlayStation library to go and get this thing? No. Will they get it in addition to their PlayStation? Absolutely.
Sure. Okay. It's an ecosystem play. So how about like a carrier, like a phone carrier, if they could offer you a way to port your phone number, and in this parlance, I'm talking about port your back compat library from one ecosystem to the
That's
other.
not a real. That's not a
It's
real
it's
thing.
a
Now, I know
hypothetical.
the question, but it's not a hypothetical based in any sort of real
I
plausibility,
know.
right? But
You know what I'm going
I
to.
think the question that you're getting to is this going to be good enough for a lot of
Yes.
people?
Yes.
And I think it could be, but
Mhm.
not in a situation where you're making a choice, one choice over the other. But one thing I will say is that this thing here is getting more playtime than what's plugged into the TV.
But that's
right?
my point.
And at a certain point,
This
you got
is
to ask
that
yourself,
thing.
if I am
That thing
playing
has
more
trained you.
here, if I'm playing more here, at a certain point, if I don't have the disposable income, or even if I do have the disposable income and I don't have the time, why am I even gonna get the other thing if all the games I want to play are right here?
Yeah. But this has been the whole ball game of my question, right? It seems that in the interim, while Switch was running away with the game, more and more consumers are being trained and being brought in and being taught that what the Switch is no longer the floor. It's no longer the baseline that you should accept, because these handhelds now offer you so much more. Like, whether it just be base hardware features or the services that don't go on top, like being able to save games on the go and playing natively and blah, 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 all that stuff, right? A lot has changed on the ground since Switch came and took over the world as far as the handheld space, right? I would actually argue that when the Switch came and took over the space, they became handheld gaming. But now with the Ally and the rest of them there, you have to denote which version. What are we talking about here? Because I would call them mobile if we didn't have actual phone games. If we didn't have phone games, I'd call Switch mobile games, because what Ally is doing is playing your full fat desktop class game on the go, and the Switch still can't do that. It's a mobile chip.
But what if it can?
But it doesn't matter. When it can, then we're having a different conversation, right? When it's translating and and let me be clear, I'm not saying that's not impossible, because this is a Galaxy S24 Ultra, last year's of the Samsung variant. With a translation layer tool, you can make this thing play PC games today. It is possible. So it's not to say that it's not possible. I'm just saying that's not where Nintendo's looking at today. So it's a different market. So in that world, can they live, right? And Paris is here. He says, get ready to have that conversation. Absolutely. I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to it. I see what he's doing, and I'm similarly in that place where we are basically saying but not saying. The waters are getting muddier and muddier.
And again, a lot of the times, we the 4%. That's what we are. The people who buy multiple games per month.
Yeah, we
right?
The 4%.
There's only 4% of the gamers that actually do that.
Yep,
so sometimes we get caught in that bubble and thinking that everybody's like us. I got a friend right now, right? He just moved into a new apartment or whatever, single guy. And the only reason he bought a PS5 is because I told him he was going to get a Switch, and I told him don't get that yet because the new one is about to come out. But he would have been fine.
He would have bought a Switch.
Yeah.
And then cursed you out a month later when he found out the Switch came out, and then you didn't tell him, as a man who runs a PlayStation, runs a gaming pod. You didn't tell me a Switch 2 was coming out, son of a.
Right. So he just said, let me go to PlayStation Direct and get this thing. But when that Switch comes out, I doubt he's ever going to touch the PlayStation,
We are the mighty
4%. You damn right.
That's right. We are the mighty 4%. Indeed. Yes. But no, okay. So I think this is the beginning of a conversation that we will have to table for another day, because there were rumors.
I should mention he travels a lot for work, which is why he wanted.
That's also a factor. That's also
this is why I say he's not really going to touch the PS5 when that Switch 2 drops.
Yeah. what I was going to say is there was rumor and speculation of other hardware devices that were going to drop during GDC that were going to bring very interesting conversation as well. That seemingly did not happen. So we will wait and see how that materializes, because I think that will be very interesting, and that lends to this conversation as well. One last quick aside, Everborn Saga, before we get out of here, because we are rounding the bottom of the episode, and these days we try to do our best to keep it more concise. But because Mr. Everborn Saga is the leader of the CEG movement, he has been on wax.
I'm so experienced gamer. Do not let K Asante try to stop it. This is about me right now.
Or it is indeed about you. Or another reading of that would be console emotional gamer.
Okay, do you see what you're doing?
That.
See what you're doing?
So I wanted to share this because it showed up on my feed. I've been kind of tracking it for a little bit, and it does look super interesting. And I don't know if you've seen it. Have you seen Winhanced?
I have seen Winhanced, yes. I'm in the Discord.
Have you tried Winhanced?
I would not presume to try it because it looks like it's still very rough around the edges.
Okay.
I will leave it.
And I wanted to have a quick conversation with the people, because I know like the people love handheld talk around here. We love handheld talk. So like I will show a quick trailer of what it purports to be, and we'll talk a quick chat about it. Winhanced, for those who don't know, basically developers, people like us, like you and me, who got sick and tired of waiting for Microsoft to get on the ball and provide them what they need, which is a single UI that provides you that Steam variant that's not necessarily just beholden to one store. This thing is just like, your UI that rules them all. And they released it. And it's an alpha, as you can see, alpha right now. You can actually go in and go to their Discord and download it and play it for yourself. They're very much beholden to, they're using the Steam Deck. I'm sorry, not the Steam Deck, the ROG Ally X as their test bed. So if you have an Ally X, you'll get a lot of their features day one, and this is what it's looking like, right? Very interesting feature set, this, that, and the third. What do you think? I know you've been keeping an eye on it as well. I have it running on my One X player. Pretty cool. I think I did a quick little video on it as well. Do you think Microsoft should be worried? Is this the future?
Worried about what?
Not specifically this, but people getting sick and tired of waiting for them to come up with a good UI, good solution for this problem.
I mean,
and now they're like, screw it, we're going to build it ourselves.
It's not great that people, when people use your operating system begrudgingly, because everybody that games on Windows, like, they're gaming there for the compatibility, but they're like, my God, I hate this, right? That's not great. I think the issue is that Microsoft is moving so slow at this because at the end of the day, they know, listen, everybody's going to game on Windows. It doesn't make a difference. We'll get there when we get there. Right? Everybody's going to game on Windows, and they're probably going to buy their games in Steam. So we could do all of this work, but we're going to maintain our monopoly status from a platform perspective, and Steam's probably going to maintain their dominance from a storefront perspective, and we'll have our storefront. And when we get to it, we'll do a default experience that'll try to win some people over, but it's no rush because we aren't going anywhere. And that is the boring, cynical view of it. But I think there's really no rush for them. And this is nice, but again, we need something at the OS level. Because when I see this handheld stuff, I also think, like me personally, I have a gaming PC that is connected to the TV. So
to what the great Dr. Dry Rub says, just another app for the handheld to run rather than a fundamental feature. Another thing that takes away resources. I don't disagree. Although
Armory.
They did mention that right now, yes, it's just Armory Crate, but they did mention that today it's
That's
that
not Matt.
they are working. Well, true. They are working on doing a shell replacement. So ultimately, yes, it will be just another app, but they're going to replace your desktop shell with it, right? Will that happen before Microsoft creates what they're creating? Who knows? This is what the developer themselves are saying. Right now, it's not available that way, but soon enough, it will replace your desktop shell. Meaning, you boot it up, the first thing you see is their UI, and there's no desktop behind it. They're working towards that. So,
all right, how are they going to handle UAC prompts?
That that actually has been handled already. Certain UAC prompts can be disabled right from jump, right? Like it already has been in other apps that replace the desktop shell. So that's there are other problems that seem to be an issue. I don't think UAC is the problem. The problem would be certain apps are engineered to really like seek the desktop and use the desktop as a backdrop. And if the desktop isn't there, the app may not run right. So that may be another problem there. Karate Laundromat says the GOG works with Xbox and Epic if you want a single.
But GOG is not controller first.
That's the problem.
And
if
not
GOG
everybody
woke up one morning and made their controller, they made their UI controller first, I would be GOG all day, forget everything else, because they aggregate them all perfectly. It's great. But they're not controller first.
To that end, I saw, and I don't know if you have this on topic links because we are getting close to the 3-hour mark.
Yeah, we're at the end.
But there was a lot of hubbub about a Steam tab in some marketing photos that Microsoft shared. And a lot of people lost their mind about it and how's it going to work and all this.
It works already today.
GOG does this right now.
No,
right?
But even Microsoft works today. All they're doing, the only difference.
Whoa, what do you mean Microsoft works like this today? Not in the Xbox app.
Yeah. In the Xbox app, if I played a Steam game, it is under my recent games. A Steam game will live alongside a regular game.
Right. Yes.
The only difference in what they're talking about here is, which is that was well. The only difference is they are categorizing it now. They're saying, oh yeah, we know you have Steam games. This is what they are. That's all they're doing. I don't want to
mislead people though, right? It is not present in their launcher. It is not present in their
No. Hear me.
It's present
you didn't hear what I was saying. You didn't hear what I'm saying.
I heard what you were saying. I'm saying what you're saying could lead people to believe that it's available now, what they saw.
No, but let me explain. Today, recent apps aggregates all apps, whether it's Steam or Windows Store or whatever.
Not the Xbox
recent apps. Not the Xbox app. Recent apps in the game bar does that today.
Yes.
What this thing would do is create a section that will then aggregate, which is basically what one launcher does, which it sees where it comes from. Oh, it comes from Steam, creates a category, says, okay, Steam games. Now, when you go there, you see Steam games, you click on it, it shows every game under Steam. It shows GOG games because it sees the path as GOG games on the GOG. That's all it's doing, right? What do you call it? Entry level, open source developers are doing that today to aggregate your categories already for you. A Winhance, that's how they're finding it.
Play Nights,
Winhance.
Exactly. Hey,
that's all they're doing. Great. Exactly. That's all they're doing. They're literally checking the path that exists and saying, oh, the path goes to Steam. That means you're a Steam game. Boom. Category. That's all Microsoft did here. But people are like, ooh, I'm like, it's a little weird. I don't know. Right. The fact that they put the word Steam in their official stuff, I hear you on that. That does sound interesting because you can't just use Steam as a verbiage without working with them or having some kind of agreement. But still, I didn't think it was that big a deal. I don't know.
And again, as this is the power of Windows as a platform, right? If you're making a Steam game, you're making it for Windows. Now, once you're already on Windows, you can run that game. So whether you have a different shell that is still based on Windows,
or something else, it still runs that game.
Now I do want to, because this was in the chat way earlier, and I can't remember who asked, but I want to make sure we talk about it.
Okay.
If there is some kind of device, does Sony play hardball and say, no, you can't release our games on that device? Can they do that for a specific device? Yes, but the whole point of Sony going to PC is so that they can make more money. And so the question is, are they going to lock down all devices? Because when this becomes a default experience at the kernel level, or not the kernel level, but at the Windows shell level, to where everybody that has a Windows 12 PC will have a game mode or something like that. Are they going to shut it down from all of those different PC configurations, or just one that Microsoft makes?
And where would you be getting this game? Because if it's Steam, the only way you'll be able to sabotage this is by sabotaging it your way, being Sony. There's no world where you walk into Gabe's office and say this, and he doesn't like laugh in your face and walk out.
Right, I want to lock down one specific device.
He'll tell you to go pound sand. He's done it already.
Now, let's be clear. There are games that they'll say you can't run on the Steam Deck, but that is because of other reasons.
Hardware limitations, whatever. But you developers saying, I don't want to run it there, because they'll tell you then don't put it on the store. Where Steam installs, the games live. That's where unlike some people, slander. When they said they did it for where Steam lives, they meant that.
Game Pass, where Game Pass lives.
That's literally what's happening here. So there's no world now.
What do
historically?
you think,
go ahead.
What do you think of this new Jez Corden article saying they're moving from the Xbox ERA to Win32? Shouldn't it be Win X64? Like, why would it be Win32 specifically?
Because Win32 is the framework, the architecture. 64X is 64X of Win32. Okay. But basically, what Jez Corden did there in that article is say Everborn and Kay Asante are right 3 years ago when they said they were going to abandon the Xbox ecosystem and go straight to PC. That's literally what that article says. They are abandoning the back end of console and replacing the back end of console with PC backend, which is X32.
So basically, you don't have to think about whether it is Play Anywhere, because there's just one license to deal with. It is the PC binary.
One ecosystem, one binary. Now, what on the front, it could be shiny and lie to you and say it's a console and make you console emotional people feel real good about yourselves. But in the background, it's a PC game. They are getting rid of multiple platforms to develop for. They're developing for one throat to choke, as they say.
Hey, yo.
So that's what that is. And yes, we will take our victory lap now because we said that like how many years ago?
Well, let's get the announcement before we take the victory lap. Roshan Ethinger says
I'm learning from others. I take victory laps all the time.
Says so they'll kill xCloud and it all becomes Azure. I think they needed to do that a long time ago.
Yes.
Because this is why GeForce Now is much better. You want to take advantage of the entire Azure infrastructure, and you're already buying these NVIDIA GPUs. So
today, that Azure to xCloud comparison is PC versus console. When it's Azure versus xCloud, like properly, then it's a PC versus PC. Now you're actually being competitive from a bandwidth, from a bit rate, all of that. It'll rise because they're using Azure workloads to run it. You don't want them to use consoles in the cloud because it always will be less than a PC in the cloud, right? This is why that back and forth argument was never really a fruitful one, because you and I both know if I complain to you and we have a debate versus how a PS5 looks versus how a 4090 looks, you'll laugh because a 4090 and the PS5 are completely different. But GeForce Now and xCloud is literally that debate, right? It's an Xbox versus a full-fledged computer in the cloud.
I don't even think it's the graphic. I don't think it's the fidelity. I'm sure that's part of it. I really think
bit rate, latency. Yeah, it's all that. It's the bit rate. It's the latency. It's what that source hardware is capable of. And it's not capable of giving you full fidelity because it itself is a console, which has limited hardware capability. So it is what it is, right? So as they move to full Azure stack, yeah, I think it'll be a very competitive landscape at that point. You'll see you'll see the fidelity that you expect from GeForce Now. I suspect you'll see it on the Xbox side as well. So, yeah. But I think we're there, man. Okay, so we're at the end of it, ladies and gentlemen. We're trying to keep things concise. We're a little over about 3 hours. But Mr. Everborn Saga, it is always a pleasure chopping it up with you, sir. And you know, I know.
Wait a minute.
life
One
is
more thing.
calling you. Okay.
One more thing. There was some rumor about some kind of Xbox handheld that we were supposed to see. I want to talk about this really quickly. In hindsight, was GDC the right place to introduce a device like that?
In hindsight, no, it wasn't.
Why?
Because if you're gonna show it to people, it's got to be whiz bang, like all the pull out all the stops. And GDC is a very specifically dev centric audience, and you're gonna have to show them the unvarnished.
You'd show them a dev kit. I don't know if
you
do like something that you intend to sell to customers.
Yeah.
Anyway,
and
just wanted to
we'll close this out, but I will use this analogy. Microsoft, if you are selling me a new car, I need a new infotainment system. Please don't show me the old infotainment system. You will disappoint me heavily if I see the same.
Sounds like you want that CEG experience, but I digress.
If I'm buying a CEG device, I need the CEG experience.
Okay, cool.
Okay, calm down, sir. CEG, and when I say CEG, I mean console. It ain't half bad. This man, enough with this Christopher Columbusness. Tell the people where they can find you without all the slander, where they can save some money.
You can find me in Discord or on everbornsaga.com, where you can get one of these nice Adidas sweat hoodies like this.
For the record, my boy, it is Adidas. Huh? Don't get it twisted. It is Adidas. Let's keep
moving. Isn't this a German brand? I don't know if we need all the.
Finish your outro,
we need the whole accent with the German brand, but whatever. So. That's a new one. That is.
I like that one too. that's good.
But you can also, you know what? Hold on one second. I need to show.
Okay. Oh, he are you gonna do like a change of outfit real quick for the people? Everborn's gonna bring out the pepperonis for y'all. Remember, he wants to start doing one of these things where we start asking y'all to assist us in getting us to these shows. Maybe one of the ways we do that is we asking for pepperoni shows. Is that what we're doing, Everborn Saga? Oh,
this is not. Oh no, it's Alex's channel, sir. You can get this.
Oh no! Oh no!
Right on.
Get out of here with that. Oh,
available right now.
It's missing something though.
15%.
It's missing. It is missing something. It's missing it's missing the big red X and the crying face, because it's not console. It's console emotional.
Available now. Emotional. At everbornsaga.com. 15% off when you use code
console
at checkout.
Emotional gamers. Anyway, you will find me on this very channel. He's starting the movement. Yes, it's been starting for a long time. It's why we call him Christopher Columbus. It started as called Steam Big Picture Mode until he found out, and now it's called CEG. Anyway, find me on this channel and find the actual the Gaming Circle, itself on the internet on thegamercircle.com. We have a lot of interesting, great articles to write that we have written that are there as well. There will be more stuff coming there with more interesting articles. We'll be writing reviews for South of Midnight and some of the newer games that will be coming out as well. Again, at the bottom of the show with X amount of folks still watching us. Thank you guys so much for being here. Hit the like button on the way out if you haven't done so. Before we get out of here, there is a super chat I really wanted to read, and that is from Hollywood Rules, and he had a $10 super chat, and he said, "I'm console primarily, only recently moved to PC world. Oh, interested in Switch. Haven't been interested in zero interested in Switch. My bad. Hasn't been interested in Nintendo System 64, and then GameCube, their last real console in his eyes, only for if his daughter wants one." See, and I actually that's a good statement he makes, because that's why I brought this question up. Right? It seems like those who like the consoles that competed kind of got off the boat when they went game after GameCube. This one seems like it might be one that they're competing again. So does that bring you back in? If they're competing again, do you finally go, oh, this is the Nintendo that I wanted back? They're back now. So I'm back in, right? I don't know. I hope so. Like you, I'm in for 3 at least. We'll see how it goes. And finally, the last super chat, the Great Soil Tech, member for 9 months, says hit that like and subscribe button. He is absolutely true and righteous, and I appreciate him always reminding people to do so. For myself, Mr. Everborn Saga. Oh, before we go, I have to also remind the people that you will see us this Tuesday on this very channel, where myself and Mr. John Wolf will return with Gamers Playground this Tuesday, because we'll be doing a little something different. Keep an eye out. We're trying different things, different formats and things like that. It'll be this Tuesday, so keep your eyes out. We'll be doing some PC, maybe some tutorial things. You'll see us do some interesting things there. But okay, we'll be back next week. And again, next week will be a great big show, because myself and Mr. Everborn Saga will be hosting the audio director from Compulsion Games, Chris Fox, for a great discussion about South of Midnight. But it's been great for myself, Mr. Everborn Saga. See y'all next week. And yeah, I think that's it. Peace.
Nice to be in orbit.